everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going great, because for once you actually really did nail that on the first try.
Every time we joke about it. But yeah, we're back here for the True Gamer Podcast. Right. Last episode we had our boys from the, as always, Entertainment over here.
We did.
It was quite a big episode.
It was.
I'm not happy about that because
the worst bit, the salt in the wound, was Tyler kept throwing shade about how this will be the biggest one ever, right? And the best I could come up with was just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. Like, it was the biggest, but not for the reason you said.
Yeah.
Which obviously is them, but no one wants their opinions.
We was like giving shit back, and I was ready to be like, it would have been weird if it was like, that performed terribly.
Yeah,
our video was awful.
Sucks to suck, gamers.
But then they brought in all these guys. By the way, if you're new around here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
Before we continue
yes.
I actually want to say something before we get to that, which is the other part of that, which is the one person in the family of those guys, two people that have good taste. Mm-hmm. David Jerome, Tyler's friend, who, Tyler brings his friend onto our podcast, totally welcome, and good to have him. And he's like, I'm going to show these guys what's what. Not expecting that his friend has good taste.
He completely endorsed conversations.
Because he has fine and distinguished taste.
Great.
So well done, David Jerome. You're welcome on the podcast at any time. And the better half of the Welford boys, Gerg.
Yes.
You mentioned it, we mentioned it just before we were playing around with this thing. But it reminds me, because we are on the True Gamer Podcast, the Doom update's out. The Doom DLC.
Yes, there is. And I've got a hot review from our very own Conversations reporter in the field, Nyrowc, later on to talk about that. Which is, he's been playing it, obviously. He's the biggest Doom guy in our community, and he's given us his thoughts on there, spoiler-free stuff, which has been fucking amazing. It looks amazing so far as what I can see. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, right there.
But before we get any further into this, now, our Combro patrons. I finally
got it.
I got it. Yeah, that's it. The end of the podcast. We won it. That's it. Shut it down.
We've nailed the intro. We've nailed that. That's it. We can't get any better than this.
We can't
peaked, lads.
That's it. We peaked. The incredible guys over on patreon.com/conversation support us and at multiple tiers. But our super bros, the guys that, I would go as far as to say literally they made this happen.
Yes, they did.
I hope you can see that.
Yeah, they can. They can see that. They made for the audio listeners, our
the
streaming PC.
Yeah.
Chris right there. You know, we actually have to finish off your thing, and I'll go back to that, because I was going to say it's going to go on for the tangent, but if you're okay with it,
I'm totally down.
We have actually a load of people that listen to us on podcast services.
Okay,
I'm talking like over 150 people.
Literally twos of people.
Literally twos of people. Yeah. I checked our statistics the other day since we moved over to the new platform, and it says average 150 listeners just on that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty decent. So hello to all of you guys. You're still virgins,
of course,
but still, what's happening there.
That's right. And if you're one of those guys, I'm sure out of 150 people, somebody must have just found us and been like, this is a good way to waste some time, right? Or to do my commute. We're a YouTube. We're like a visual show. Half of the gags are visual. Not saying not to listen, but if you had the time, and if you're like me, which is to say an absolute degenerate weirdo, and you like to watch your podcasts,
can confirm that,
which I do, like youtube.com/Combroplations.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
It's
a cool place.
We're a visual kind of thing. We're not good to look at, but we're visual.
I was going to say, there's not really eye candy, but you get to see some cool visual aids and some visual gags and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But we have to, since was on the track to talk about Super Bros. Our Super Bros are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate, Carol to Rivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master Hbartz, and the real life midget. Sorry, I said the real life there.
You did.
The midget Aloy from Smallville, Sabine. There we go, right.
There you go. Why do you only have half it? Like, Sabine isn't actually on there. You're just remembering these things.
Yeah, the thing is that I felt like every other one has people's name in it. And I just forgot to write it, but then it's just stuck in my head to say it.
Wow. You just straight up told Sabine she's not good enough for you to write her name.
Basically, that's what I mean when I didn't write your name down. I wrote the midget Aloy from Smallville, and then that was it. I don't care about you. That's
it was the three most important things: her name, Aloy, Smallville. You put them in an order And Sabine didn't make the cut.
Sabine didn't make the cut. I was like, that's just too much. I can't bring myself to write that down right there. It's just awful.
Right.
Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights, the mics on, and the gaming going here at Combroplations.
Yeah, true.
Right? How you doing, by the way, my bro?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, actually. We've got some decent gaming topics to talk about this week. We are creeping up on the release of the next-gen consoles.
We are.
And the release of Cyberpunk, 27 days to go right there.
Yes.
It's all getting really real, really fast. There was the news as well that apparently, because they're getting... It was supposed to be a global launch for the PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. Yeah. But then it turned into a staggered launch where like some territories are going to get it before others, and we're the ones that are going to get it on the 19th if you're living in America.
We're getting fricked, yeah.
We're getting fricked. And the news came out that because the games technically come out in America on the 12th of November, they're going to release the games on the 12th of November. So we are going to get our pre-orders for our games for like Spiderman Miles Morales, all those cool games, all the stuff that's coming out. Before we get the console, we're just going to stare at it for a week. Isn't that a bitch?
Why even?
This is why you need to come to the YouTube show, because his face said it all there.
And we had this about the multi-territory release, which was like, they have the stock, it'll be in the rough area.
Yeah.
Like, why not just release on... Why stagger it? What's the point?
Apparently as well, the original plan was to do a global release, but I'm guessing something has fucked up. Maybe it might not be with Sony, maybe it's to do with the retailers or whatever it's going to be, or the distribution channels or whatever. But... God damn it, it sucks. It so sucks. And what's going to be worse is that we're going to do a True Gamer podcast.
We are.
I think 1 week before the release of the actual console, and then the next one is going to be in between the two releases. So we're just going to be like, so, we're here, two True Gamers.
With our games.
Without the console. Exactly, it's going to be so ridiculous. I don't know what the hell we're going to do there.
That's going to be really frustrating. Gaming news, because gaming stuff. We spent last night playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
We did do that,
and I gotta be honest, I had a ton of fun.
Yes, we actually do have a question from one of our bros asking us how we feel about it. It was Ashton hashtag Smallville for Movie Club after we watched that one episode.
Absolutely not.
Don't know how we could possibly do that, but it was amazing. And he goes, thoughts on the new Ghost of Tsushima update, and Sheps, how much did you have to carry Eddie?
I mean,
I heard some stuff happened after I left.
We did perform quite a lot better without you.
I swear
quite a lot better.
You guys see that I'm not a bad gamer, but somehow apparently I got the news afterwards that as soon as I left, the next round they managed to complete the survival.
The very next round.
So we played a survival mission, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I just clipped my thumb. You know where I cut my thumb off?
What did you do to your thumb?
So I was cutting chicken, and it was before a stream. Before a stream that I was going to do.
Just cut anything pink. Cut it.
Just cut. And I was rushing to do it because I had like half an hour to cook it, chunk it down, and get everything set up and whatnot. And I went straight through my thumb. Like an idiot, it obviously bleeded straight away. And like an idiot, you know when you hurt yourself, you sort of like, like that. Did that.
Chicken
blood everywhere all over the walls and
chicken
stuff.
And blood, the best mix.
And I put it all over Twitter. I basically just cut off my thumb and I just caught my thumb on the bit of skin on the end of this right here.
That's uncomfortable, but we know a friend of ours who cut off most of his thumb.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as bad. It's almost the exact same injury, just like a tenth of what he did.
Exactly. He had like a planer that took off like nearly half his thumb. But the stupid thing, the great part of it is the true gamer part of me that did this. It was on a stream where I was playing Crushing Difficulty Uncharted 3, but then I just went through it. I was like, turned my hat back like Ash Ketchum, and then I went, by the way, like your jacket, by the way, I have to say.
Thank you very much. I'm just looking down there to see if there's any like a pool of blood on the carpet.
God, it's just bleeding up. Oh, God. And I was using the joystick, and I was like, don't worry, I'm going to get through these hard sections on Crushing, even though I've got a gamer injury. But I did it anyway.
Good.
So, Ghost of Tsushima. I left, and apparently you guys performed better.
We did do very good.
We played Survival, which was the 15-round thing with boss waves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I really dig it a lot.
Yeah.
I really dig it a lot because one of the things that we're playing as Jin is you have everything open to you, right?
Yes.
And up to a certain point, unless you're being overwhelmed, like really overwhelmed, like there isn't much there, and it has to be a very tough duel for you to really even get pushed, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Especially once you've unlocked everything. But with this, I actually really appreciate how they've balanced everything. So like, all of Jin's abilities are in the game, or in the online thing, but they're split between each things, and technically everyone can kind of do most of it. Like, you can assassinate as any class, but obviously the assassin gets more options for it, right?
Yeah.
It's great, and also you go through and then you forget that you can parry and stuff, and then you do it and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm actually a sword fighting ninja, I'll just murder these folks. It was really cool. And after you've played a few games and you get just enough, equipment going where like you're doing a bit more damage, some of the abilities are really good, like the throwing dirt, super good. I've been running the Ronin, who's the healer, and so if someone's down and there's a load of guys, I'll just throw dirt and then I can revive them because they're all like,
blinded and disorientated.
There's some cool stuff in it. But now my heal, which I don't think it did when you were there, it just revived you. At any point if I use it, it'll heal pretty much to full health.
Okay.
Including if you're down, so you'll get revived and come most of the way to health. So it's
that's
way more
hardcore.
It's
Yeah.
It's sick. So I've been really enjoying it. I dig the aesthetic as well. They're saying about like there's the upside down from Stranger Things, with like its biological stuff's like grown up on the side of things, and there was
a bit of Death Stranding feel in there for me as well.
Yeah. Something like black and gooey and steamy. And I also suspect that the raid is going to be a ton of fun. That comes out in 2 weeks, I think.
Okay. It's good that they didn't do that from the get-go because...
Well, because you try and do it...
Who the fuck are you?
The thing is as well, not just not knowing what you're doing, but going in basically naked, like once you've picked your class. And that's the way it works, by the way. If you're going to get it and play, you go through the tutorial missions, then you have to pick one class to unlock. And I think you have to get to like rank 8 or 10 before you can unlock another one.
Yeah.
So pick one you think you like. If you like archery, like pick Hunter because almost no one's running it, right?
Yeah.
I picked the Ronin, which is the healer, but the Assassin and the Samurai are both, pretty serious.
Pretty cool. It's amazing that they've released this as a free update on the side because I don't know what the raid's going to be like. We don't know anything about that yet.
I feel like it's going to be really good.
I think it's going to be substantial. Yeah. I think it's going to be esque, as in kind of Destiny-ish like type of raid. Yeah. Maybe not to the level of the mechanics because Destiny is like up there and like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. But I think it will have that kind of mechanics. But it's free. They've had to reinvent the whole thing with just basically the movements put in there. Unbelievable how they managed to do that.
This is one of those things where like someone's going to get their PS5. Ghost of Tsushima will be discounted because it'll be a previous generation.
Yeah.
They're going to get it, have that whole game, which the game alone is absolutely worth the price of admission.
Mm-hmm.
And Legends to jam with their friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really looking forward to it. Also, it looks like it isn't just a raid. I did look through it and it was all locked. Yeah. But there's like 4 or 5 EO missions that you have to get through to like work your way up to the raid.
Interesting.
Which will be interesting. Also, it gives us a chance to like not grind, but level up a bit so that our abilities are a bit more potent, our gear's a bit more potent for when we go to the raid. But I'm genuinely looking forward to jamming it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. It's something that, especially because this run up to Cyberpunk, which will take over our lives in 27 days.
Oh yeah.
That's as of recording. This is probably something we could play for that whole time right there, and it's a very good, very nice fit.
I'm actually really hoping that it will go something like this, which will be like if I'm at work and you're not, or you're at work and I'm not, when we jam Cyberpunk, right? But then we're like, okay, we've both got an hour to kill. Let's jump on and do a few games of Legends. And I'm getting that same vibe, like that back in the day. Yeah, this is a way to do it. Early Destiny. I'm getting that same vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
One thing I will say, when we were streaming, because we was entertaining our bros and stuff like that, and we were talking crap like we normally do when we play something.
Yeah.
We both. I missed at least. You probably missed it as well because we were talking the intro part, the discussion of the Ghost Legends, what the intro cutscene is and stuff like that. I went back and watched it because I recorded my footage and whatnot, and I went to like properly listen to what it was. It's fucking phenomenal. So the mythic quests that you did all the tutorials on and stuff like that. The whole idea with and I'm not an aficionado, you can correct me where I'm wrong here because you'll probably know a lot better. With Japanese legends and whatnot, when you're telling these mythic tales, everything's a bit more almost exacerbated. It's people almost seem superhuman in these things and whatnot.
Yeah.
Where it's a guy who's very skilled, who's managed to make his way, who's managed to kill all these people and survive out of the end. Yeah. But then they make it sound like, oh, he swiped once and cut down 20 men, or like he immediately turned out behind them, or he resurrected the dead, all these samurais to kill them all at night when they slept. And it's like, whoa, all of these legends are Jin's story of fighting off the Mongols. But the way that he's rationalizing, it's like, there's no way that one man could ever do this. It's four specific type of warriors all fighting in different ways, and that,
do you know what?
They're all ghosts.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because all the... Not that they would come up with new maps, but the 4 survival modes are set in very iconic areas. So if you ever found like that camp, or that side of the beach, or Aoi village, like, there's something about them where the second you load in, you're like, I remember this place.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, hey, this is a village. It's like, oh, no, I remember this.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that the guy's like, well, of course it's not the ghost. The ghost is a party of very fine warriors. And so you're just going through it, and
the stories of this place that he would the ghost took down and whatnot. So it's not actually like reusing maps.
In stories, people talk about how like so and so are demonic, but they're just people, right? But in this, they are demonic because you're playing through the story of the ghost,
exactly,
not as the ghost. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't clock it.
Whoa, that's really damn cool, there.
Cool. That is cool.
So yeah, that's so we played Ghost Legends. It was really fun. We did it on the stream, so you can check that out if you want to.
We did.
I can't wait to play even more of it on this run up to Cyberpunk.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. I'm also, like, I absolutely love that we now have, like, another... Like, Battlefront, as much as I loved it, it was hard to get into a game. It took ages to load. This thing's so smooth.
Yes.
We can grab a couple of guys, or not. Like, just run through a few story missions or something. It just gives you something to do. So... Plus, man, that game, it looks good. The combat's so smooth.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And it's going to get a next-gen update, apparently, for PS5. Did you see the crap that was going on Twitter? So, you know how... I said this in one of the podcasts and whatnot, how I was stupid when it came to the PS4 life cycle when it first started.
Yeah.
And I made some stupid fanboy shit where someone said something about the HDCP, and I was a fucking child about it. There's more of them now, and they're pulling on the most stupid things.
Go on.
They saw someone post a screenshot for Ghost of Tsushima's Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade. Yeah. So if you have the standard edition, you can upgrade to Digital Deluxe Edition. Okay. You get avatars and skins and stuff like that.
Don't care, but okay.
If you want to, you can do that. And in the new update, they've put a little line there to say, like, you will also get the PS5 version when the PS5 version launches.
Right.
But they put that in the description because they put it in all the games' descriptions. Yeah. Xbox fans, the worst type of fans anyway, the worst ones, all came along and were like,
syndrome,
they were all like, oh, PlayStation are charging for upgrades to the PS5 version and stuff like that. Can't believe it. Forget PlayStation. It was like, no, this is for the Digital Deluxe version. If you've got the standard one, you're gonna get that. It was just the most ridiculous thing. I was like,
because they're ridiculous. And I don't mean just Xbox.
No, it's these idiots.
Yeah,
these
idiots. That type of person.
There's always idiots in every group, and these ones just shout the loudest.
Talking of idiots.
Yes.
And before, I know what you were thinking.
I was going to say, true game. No.
And we're going to get there, but even worse than them is me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We've mentioned Cyberpunk a few times. Do you know what I have forgotten to do? Pre-order Cyberpunk.
Jesus motherfucking
I know,
Christ.
I'm doing it when I get home tonight.
You're going to have to.
We were talking about, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, it comes out and I don't have a copy.
I was going to say, you probably would have done it if you had pre-ordered your PS5, but I did your one for you. So you've just not been in the...
It's kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah.
And this is what I was going to say.
Fake fan over here, fake fan.
Before we get into what I was going to say, this podcast in particular is brought to you by our amazing patrons over on patreon.com/conversations at the $5 The True Gamer tier, who made this podcast happen. These guys all said, we want a dedicated gaming podcast
by two true gamers.
Right. And at this tier, we basically you bullied us. You bullied us.
You were like, dance for me! Yeah. Dance, monkey, dance! That's right. Here we are, that's what we did.
That's right. Guys. So everybody in the $5 tier and above, you made this podcast happen. So everybody, you can blame them.
These are the true gamers themselves. This is Jeremy Horn, Record Friction, Diogo, Isak Mani, Real Cinema, Dan, Carol Tarivia, aka Catsper Coral, Sub2557, Ashton, aka the Tame Impala Simp. Alright.
Okay.
It Hurts, Chris Williams, Max H, Benedict Klobbers, Adam Sunling, Batfan257, Fishy, Conversations is objectively better than As Always.
There's a man of fine and distinguished taste.
Fine and distinguished taste right there. And The Swan Swam Over the Sea, Swin Swan Swim, The Swan Swam Back Again, Well Swam Swan.
I think that's close enough.
I think that was okay.
You may have dropped one, but good enough.
There we go. I'm getting there, lads. I'm getting there. A couple of new patrons there, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a bro and supporting the life out of us,
guys. But let's shoot him a message, because he normally fricks with you, and he hasn't done it for like 2 months. And I want to check that he's like 1 okay and 2 down to frick with you.
I was going to say, is he alive?
We need another one.
I mean, as long as his direct debits still go through, then we're
That's
okay.
the most important thing.
The most important thing,
Of
right?
course, yeah. Forget his personal health and well-being.
No, but let us know, bro, if you're okay, because we're worried. We're worried for you.
I just also appreciate that you mess with him so much, because I have heard Tyler do it, and he just nails it. But you don't, and that's what I enjoy about this podcast.
This is the thing. Like, we share a few subscribers, just 1 or 2, not too many.
Yeah.
Like that. And
We split subscribers, yeah.
It's really the performance anxiety does set in, because I'm like, oh god, he just nailed that whole list right there, and it's
He did, yeah.
and it's like 75 names, and all I've got is 10 or 18 to read out, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
I also, I mean, of the 2 of us, your reading isn't the best. And my reading, especially now when I'm having less time, it's getting worse with my spelling as well. Like, I just don't have time. I used to give you shit for it before you didn't have time. So I'm going to continue, because I know that it still would be bad.
It still applies.
But it gets worse when you have less time. You just got to blast out a tweet and do it. And I sent a tweet the other day, and accidentally it was a reply to somebody that had nothing to do with what I was tweeting. It was my tweet that I sent as a reply to somebody.
Don't you hate it when you overcook toast? And then it's just like the guy's talking about his day at the shops or something like that.
Exactly.
What's going on here?
Exactly. But so I feel you on stuff like that. But yeah. I do think it's weird that of the 2 of us, it's you that's doing the reading of the names and stuff, which is just...
A part of it's also that I need to get better. I can't be a retard for the whole of my life. I need to get better. You can, it's true. Yeah. I mean, fucking America's the proof of that.
It's
I just painted everyone with a brush.
Yeah, you're talking about me painting with a broad brush for the audio virgins, and now you go and do 300 million people.
There you go. Anyway, should we talk a little bit about some gaming, or is there something else you want to talk about?
We shall, actually, because it segues quite nicely in, which is, you had said, very accurately, the reason I forgot my Cyberpunk pre-order is because I didn't pre-order the PS5.
Yes.
Because I missed the slot. But you being you, pre-ordered multiple times, got 2 of them,
yep.
And when I told you I'd lost mine... Because those both pre-orders were for you.
Yeah.
That's not,
I mean, I was like, in case this one falls through, I've got this one.
Yeah, you're like, 1 is none, 2 is 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. So, that has affected my, I guess, excitement for the run-up to PS5.
That's actually one of the topics for today's show. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. What is your hype level for the PlayStation 5? And I'll ask the guys as well, so after we're done, we can get there.
I mean, by the way, audio versions you can't see it, but I'm pointing off to my left, so that'll be the right of the screen.
Yeah, right,
if I did that right. We're actually there in the chat. That's us talking right now.
Go.
Shut up, D.
D's just...
No one's asking.
Right here. The thing says lol right there. Diogo says lol. There you go.
So, I'm sitting on even 6, like a steady boil. You know when water's boiling, it's just rolling, but it's not like... And it's because I didn't pre-order it. So to me, even though I know I have one coming, I kind of feel like I don't have one to wait. I feel like it might almost be a year away.
Right.
Because I didn't pre-order the next console.
Yeah.
Even though I'm desperate to get a PS5, play Ratchet & Clank, play Cyberpunk, all that stuff, for some reason, because I didn't get my pre-order...
It's not quite sunk in.
It hasn't yet. So I'm an even kill. We need next gen. Current gen's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's holding back gaming, especially my day of release PS5 is PS4. I'm sorry, is knackered.
Yep.
But I just don't feel like I have a PS5 on the way.
Yeah.
Even though it is. Even though in 27 days I'm gonna have it in my hands, drooling over it. trying to figure out where to put that beast.
That big boy.
He's a damn boy. He's thick. But for some reason it hasn't stayed, like you said. So I'm in this weird spot where like I'm super excited for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how much. But for some reason, it feels like I'm in 2019 and it's coming next year.
Yeah.
It's this really bizarre thing. And I know in my head, I know it's not. I know it's coming in a month.
See, I'm almost exactly the same as you, but for a different reason.
Yeah.
I'm excited, so excited to play on the next consoles.
Yeah.
But it is trumped and dwarfed by my excitement for Cyberpunk at the moment.
I totally feel that as well.
And that's the thing. And because they're coming out on the same day, and I'm so laser focused on the release of Cyberpunk that I'm excited for the next gen consoles, and I'm always looking at like PlayStation 5's Reddit subreddit, looking at new stuff, always seeing people's tweets. I've got certain things followed, like PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. And when the UI dropped, I was like, oh my god, let me see what my new UI is going to look like, what's trophies going to look like, which is actually one of our topics. But for some reason, it's just secondary, completely secondary to the biggest thing in my mind, Cyberpunk.
It feels like Cyberpunk is Usain Bolt. Where I'm excited for next gen in a way that is actually difficult to describe because, we're nerds. When the PS4 dropped, one of the things they showed was they had like 1,000 or 4,000 blue balls that they just dropped on a 3D map. It was great. It was all grey boxes, right? You and I find that stuff super interesting. We found the digital deep dive with the hearing stuff fascinating. Like, we like the tech of this stuff. Yeah. We covered a leak. Was it a pattern leak or a pattern reveal? Something for the PSVR 2.
Yes.
Back before we had any of the hardware specs, and we said, this is a beast. We don't think this can run it, and then we get the specs for PS5.
It needs to be run on something beastly.
Absolutely.
Here's the PS5.
And we even said, it's going to need to be this. It's going to need to be this, this, and this. And then the PS5 comes out, and we're like, that'll do it. That'll run it.
That will about be right. Yeah.
So, we really dig that stuff. But Cyberpunk's Usain Bolt, which is, it's so far out in front that despite the fact that the guy just behind Hussein Usain
Bolt, Usain,
fast guy, the guy just behind him, fast as frick, man. Like, that guy was probably close to breaking the world record himself.
Yeah,
but Usain Bolt's a length and a half, 2 lengths in front of him.
Yeah,
which means I'm in this weird spot where, like, the PS5, man, am I excited for it? But it's a delivery device for what I really need, which is Cyberpunk. I'm excited for Cyberpunk, which needs a PS5 to run it.
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't need it. Cyberpunk's a PS4 game. But it's never seeing my PS4. It's going in my PS5 straight away, so I can max it out.
Your PlayStation 4 is just sitting right there when you get out of the Cyberpunk. It's like, yeah, and then you put into the PS5, and it's like, oh. Right. I'm imagining those little stick arms, like,
yeah.
But yeah,
it's because you lied to me. Okay, that light doesn't stay blue. Right?
What's this white light? Damn it!
Right, PS4. This has been a rocky relationship. And I found someone new.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what's going to be worse? I'm just going to have ripped on the PS4, and it's going to do the same thing to me. It's going to do it. They're going to do it, aren't they? What?
You're just going to get that PS5. We're going to turn on. It's be like beautiful blue lights,
gorgeous, right?
And then white.
And in all the promo material, it's blue as well. But that's what it was for the PS4.
Sony, let me just tell you this right now. If you pull another PlayStation 4 on us, and in all the promo material you show a blue light, and then you change it once the game is on, once the console is running, without telling anyone, to an ugly-ass white light that just blends in and just really shitty, I will burn a PlayStation in front of you.
Yep.
Put that right here, Diogo. You're out there. Write it down somewhere. You're our official record keeper. I will burn a PlayStation 5.
The thing is, that blue looks great on the black. Mm-hmm. It looks great on the white. Mm-hmm. Red, which, by the way...
Spiderman one will look fucking great.
I have been calling for, and I would have paid money for this, probably $9.99.
Yeah.
To get that light to either go blue or red. And I would have paid probably $14.99 if it would go red and go backwards and forwards like Kit.
The hell of a microtransaction, just go like that. Yeah,
I just want it. You know? Or for any of my BSG guys, Battlestar Galactica Incredible series. All on Amazon Prime. We're talking about this is the remake. It's really good.
Right.
It's really good. It's got Katie
Sackhoff?
Katie Sackhoff. She plays Starbuck, and she's sick in it. She's so good, and also she's
one of your childhood crushes right there.
Yeah, there's a few, and I can name them all. So
oh yeah, so that's our hype levels for next gen. I did ask people what their hype levels are.
Yeah.
Also, I asked what's the one next gen game other than Cyberpunk. What games? Or I should just say, just game in general. It's a toss up. It's a toss up right now between.
You are a tosser, so.
I am a tosser, fully confirmed right there. Put it on my.
Guilty.
I feel like the Dark Knight Rises, where the Scarecrow guy is like guilty to the man in a cold sweat.
I also love her. It's like death or exile. You choose death. Death by exile.
By exile. There we go. It's a toss up right now between Spiderman Miles Morales, which I think is going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be a little bit short, but I still think it'll be a great story.
25 hours.
I think it'll be less. So the thing is, they're saying it's going to be half than the original, and the original people are clocking in at around about 15 hours. So it might be less than that.
Okay.
That's what we're saying. We don't know. It is supposed to be a standalone side DLC, but
it's not quite a full game.
We'll see when it comes out, and then we can fairly judge it.
Also, CDPR spoiled us when it came to DLC. A little bit of me always feels like I need to be getting at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
So
between that and Demon's Souls. Demon's Souls looks fantastic, and also there's not been a game that has scratched my itch like Bloodborne since Bloodborne came out.
Okay.
And it's a very different game. It's not a game that you can play all the time, in my opinion. Some people just play Souls games and that's their thing. I don't play all the time, but when I play Bloodborne, I played the DLC afterwards. I'm one trophy away from the platinum, and I'm going to get George to help me out with that. But when I put that away, that was that.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the trailer, when we saw the gorgeous visuals, I was like, oh, and then those giant monsters, all of them creative and different and stuff like that. I was like, I need to play this fucking game.
One thing you have to give to Souls games, which I'll be upfront, I'm not really a hack and slash guy. I used to play, I think the last DMC I played, Devil May Cry, was 3 or maybe 4.
Okay.
I used to like hack and slashers, but I also used to like COD and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I just... Also, when's COD coming?
COD is supposed to be coming out, but do you know what? I've kind of disregarded it.
Yeah, me too.
It's like $70 for the PS5 version, and I'm sure the campaign will be nice. Yeah. I'm sure the multiplayer will be the same multiplayer.
I'm not paying $75 to play a COD campaign, no matter how good it is. End of the day...
It just doesn't feel right.
End of the day, like if it's 40, I actually might, because it's all the multiplayer plus it comes with the campaign. Black Ops 1 campaign was amazing. Modern Warfare 2. World at War, COD 4, all great, but it's extra. It's
going to be tough as well because it's coming at the worst time again. The same reason why I'm not paying any attention to Watchdogs Legions, AC Valhalla.
Oh, I forgot about
Sorry for those guys and
I
whatnot.
actually forgot about that, yeah.
It was hard for me to buy Miles Morales, even though I know that that's going to get played after I find a lull spot when I'm playing Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk is coming out. Nothing can compare. And if I pay £70, £70 for a next-gen title, I want to play it. And I don't really have the time to play Call of Duty, so I'm just going to have to wait, and maybe it'll get cheaper down the line. Maybe then I'll pick it up.
Also, I think Call of Duty's one to pick up. I agree, once it's cheaper, and also once we're done with Ghost Legends.
Yes, yeah.
And the question was, what are you most awaiting for that isn't Cyberpunk? I can't say Ghost because we're getting an update for it, you know, the up-res, but that doesn't count. Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank.
I was going to say, you're into those kind of like, you're into Spyro, you're into Ratchet and Clank. I've seen you play a couple of games. Yeah. So Ratchet and Clank, that's tickling your fancy, is
also, for a couple of reasons. One, I'm big into Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
I just love those games from back when I was a kid on the PS3 and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Kid. Young man. But, like we said before with the tech demo, this, I would go as far as to say Ratchet and Clank is the first game designed specifically to only play on the PS5.
Yeah.
It is our first next-gen only game. I'm sure it'll come out on PS4 or whatever, but...
I think it's not confirmed if it's going to come out. I think it's confirmed for a PS5, but yeah.
It's like this generation's Knack, except it's going to be good.
That's a deep cut. Suck it there, Mark Cerny. I'm sorry to hear that.
I really wanted to like Knack as well, but it just had no soul for me. And so I want to play Ratchet and Clank, not just because I love the franchise, I love the characters, and I can't wait to see what they do with it, but also I get to experience the tech in a way that, although I'm super excited for Cyberpunk, I don't know that it can access the PS5 in that way, because it hasn't been designed only for the PS5. It's been designed to run on, ideally, next gen and PC.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It says here that it's only PS5 for the Rift Apart.
So it is our first true next gen only PS5 specific title, and I'm just really keen to see what they do with it. I want to experience those rifts and see because like they could do something cheeky, which is those rifts could be there, but you may not have access to them. Yeah,
I'm wondering how it will go. It did look like it was. There is the chance that it's story based. That's part of the story, and you can only go to one, and those other ones are just pictures on the side.
But Ratchet and Clank tends to give you some options with stuff like that.
It's true.
It tends to be like
you just point when you're in that area and you go whichever way you want.
Your ship is broken. You need to find these parts, but this part is only made on this planet. That part's only made on this one.
Yeah.
So where are you going to go? And you go, I'm going here.
Yeah.
Right? So you do have some choice. I want to see that. I also just want to experience going from like flying through one map to I'm now in the next world. Wait, where's the loading screen? You know, like how is the game running like this?
It's going to be really cool to experience for the first time.
This is going to be the hardest
thing. We're going to be caught off guard.
This is going to be the hardest thing to explain to Isla.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, she will grow up. I made this prediction about a year ago.
Yeah.
This isn't about me, but like that if the PS5's proprietary SSD is what it claims to be, that within a couple of years, 3 to 5, it's all the PC gamers are going to be wanting, and it will change the way games are developed, and people will start making games for this stuff. And the requirements will be: you need this processor, you need this graphics, you need this kind of memory.
As I said, nowadays they say we recommend an SSD. Right. It will be the specific PCIe NVMe 4.0 SSD.
I suspect that's the way these things are going to go. And so Isla's going to have two forms of games that she'll grow up with, which is Pokemon, which is linear. There's no loading screens because you don't need any.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't work. It scrolls that way or it scrolls back.
Yeah.
Or this stuff. How are we going to explain that the reason you're stuck in this lift is because they have to delete the world behind and load it? Do you know what I mean?
How are you going to explain that to a child?
It's going to be so alien because this is the kind of memory that works the way your brain works, which is it accesses things as it needs it. It doesn't do things linearly. I'm actually really excited to do that when I was a kid.
That's actually a really strange thing that I never even thought about, because what we do now when there's a loading screen, you pull out your phone, maybe check Twitter or something like that. We've found something to fill the void that we've already been accustomed to that was there before.
Developers, tips.
Exactly. But what happens if you grow up knowing that loading screens aren't a thing?
Yeah.
And then suddenly a loading screen appears. You're like, you'll be more frustrated than anything else. You'll be like, what the hell is this?
I mean,
I don't understand.
How many times? I think it will be a bigger adjustment for us. Maybe just a more of a mind-blowing adjustment than I can't cope. But how many times when you played God of War for the first time were you just waiting for Kratos to do his next thing, but it was actually you in charge?
Yeah.
Right? Because
countless times.
Right. That was the first real iteration of the continuous shot.
Yeah.
Which is to say, Kratos would finish doing something, and there's not even a split second. It's a seamless transition to now you're in control.
Yeah.
But it was so seamless that you didn't know Kratos had stopped.
Like, so why is this cutscene just paused right here? Oh wait, it's me. Shit. Oh, go do it.
Exactly. So I'm keen to see that. And anyway, Ratchet and Clank, I can't wait to see what it does with that. Similarly, I am keen to see people's reviews of Medium.
Okay.
Because it's kind of similar. It's like a hardware,
the Xbox exclusive next gen title of the two worlds simultaneously.
And they run simultaneously and stuff. And that is going to be interesting to me. It's not my style of game, and we've said it before, like, bad games are never good for us, the gamers. I want that game to be good, and I want people to come out raving about it, saying you need to get it, and to be honest, you should be playing it on a Series X, you know, the big boy, because it runs it so smoothly, and you need to do it, and then hopefully we go and get our hands on one and go, damn, this is good. Maybe we need an Xbox. That's my ideal world. My ideal world is where even us, the two of us, are like, okay, we need a Series X.
Yeah.
It may not get played as often because at the end of the day, the first party games are lacking. But like, I mean, you might as well get one for medium, and then Fable's coming out in a couple of years.
We want it to be like the Nintendo Switch, where it's like, you could live if you want to without the Nintendo Switch, but you're missing out on a good part of gaming.
Is it really living?
Exactly. And we want the same thing for the Xbox. We want it to be another thing. It's like, you should really have an Xbox.
The discussion should not be, hey, I'm going to a rooftop barbecue / party. I'll bring my Switch. It should be, I'll bring all 3 consoles. You know?
Didn't it come out that the woman who was in that
cringe,
thing worked for Nintendo? Yeah. And it was like, they just asked me if I wanted to be in the thing. And we all like ripped into her. Not like in a mean way. We were like, who the hell goes to a cool rooftop barbecue and then goes, hey, let's all be antisocial and come over here.
It was the ultimate like hipster modern day Friends rooftop barbecue, right? And then the chick's like, oh, freak you losers, I'm just going to play Zelda.
Here's a Joy-Con.
Everybody else is like, hey, look at Zoe playing... Whoa, she's playing Zelda? Freak you guys. I'm going to watch Zoe play Zelda.
Crazy, crazy stuff right there. Anyway, I did ask the guys in our Discord server and on Patreon to send in their thoughts on next gen, how hyped they are and stuff like that, and the game they're most looking forward to. First of all, Zahir, he says Demon Souls because that's all you need. He's a big Demon Souls
Persona
fan.
6.
It's like, that's what he really wants. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
But Demon Souls, he's a man of fine taste, at least for this game. For other things, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Conversations is objectively better than As Always over on Patreon. He wrote in 43 minutes ago. That's really lucky right there.
That is... by the skin of his teeth.
Down to the wire right there. He goes, absolutely can't wait for PS5. From the time of writing this, it's only 4 weeks away. Yes, it is, which is kind of nuts. But yeah, I can't wait to just set it up and insert that sexy mistress that is Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, buddy.
And then leave it for about 4 months. Because he'll never take it out again. It'll just be in there for the whole time.
That's what I did with Ghost of Tsushima.
Basically, yeah. That's what happens a lot of the times with games. P.S. Help me out. Help me out a bit. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to be able to play Miles Morales when Cyberpunk will inevitably take over my life. He's in the exact same position as us.
I'm no joke. As much as I just banged on about how much I'm looking forward to Ratchet & Clank.
Yeah.
I'll maybe see if I can get it on discount on Black Friday.
This is the thing.
Because I'm going to do a solid... I mean, I did The Last of Us 2 in a few days.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do our spoiler cast. I hadn't played it. I borrowed yours because I
did the stream
sure.
every day for like 9 days straight or something like that. It was like 3 hours a pop.
I did it in a lot less. I did it quick. I feel like I'm going to want to just seep and sit in the world. So I'm not going to blast it the way I did with The Last of Us, which didn't ruin my experience at all, but it's just not the same kind of world. The Last of Us is a pretty linear game. I'm going to take probably a solid month.
Yeah.
And I'll play it, realistically, I can probably get away with playing it every 2 to 3 days. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably put in 3 to 5 hour sessions.
I think you'll be able to get it done. If it is as short as we're hearing it's going to be, which is like between the 7 to 10 hours, something like that.
What?
That's the thing. That's not short. If a story is great, and especially because
The Last of Us
is a lower price as well. So
The Last of Us 1 was 8 hours if you mainline it.
Yeah.
But The Last of Us 1...
But no one's going to say Last of Us is a bad game,
no,
right?
It's one of the best...
Right?
It is genuinely one of the best stories ever made. Yeah. It's not so much game in there, not like The Last of Us 2, but I think it took me 13 to 15 hours to finish because I explored frickin' everywhere, right? And I went specifically looking for those little, like, almost throwaway lines of dialogue between Ellie and Joel, because that's what built the game. So, even if the main line is 10, 15 hours, what about all that side content?
Yeah.
Do you think... How long is Ghost of Tsushima if you mainline it?
Let's have a look.
Because I'll be up front. It took me longer.
Yeah, it took us a while. Ghost of Tsushima... story length.
Yeah. What? No, that's 100. Was 50, 60 hours to 100%.
Okay, I was going to say, because I don't remember it being that long.
Because that's about what I have in it.
20 to 25 hours for the story.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, so we were just shocked because it said 50 to 60 hours. That's for 100% completion. They're saying 20 to 25 if you mainline the story. I probably put 50 to 60 hours on it, just exploring, just trying out different stuff, just looking at things. And anytime you see a bird, frick the mission, following the bird. Oh, look, a fox. What's that shiny
God
thing?
damn it, these foxes and birds. That's the thing. The people that are looking to complain about the length of things or looking to complain about the quality of something before actually trying it, they're the people trying to poke holes and stuff, right? Now, as I said, we're going to wait and see what it comes out as. We'll play the game, then we'll do our fair review on here for you guys, and everyone can write in. We can have a nice discussion about it and see how it goes from there. And we've also got another topic from our boy Dave Bindis about Miles Morales we'll talk about later.
Also, look,
but that's what you got to wait for. Not this whole throw it out straight away. Oh, it's good. Fuck it. It's going to be 7 hours. I don't care. I don't give a shit about it.
This is the other thing. We are not Cyberpunk advocates. If the game sucks, we're going to be deeply hurt.
I'm
deeply hurt.
Say what you're going to say, and then I've got an objection.
If the game sucked somehow, which I'll be upfront, I don't think CDPR is capable of not delivering. I think to a fault, and I mean it, to a point where they are damaging the company, its potential growth and stuff, they will just deliver. But were that game to suck, I would be so personally hurt that you would definitely hear about it.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck anyone else. Forget Jason Schreier. If that game sucks, you will know about it, and you'll know about it for the rest of the year.
There will be a fire on the internet, and at its epicenter will be ships.
I gave Ashraf, before all this stuff came out, months of abuse because he agreed to it being called a
gameplay
demo, right, or something like that.
Gameplay reveal.
Harassed the fella, right, before there was anything came out that he was worthy of it, right? If this is bad, everyone at CDPR is going to know that Sheps has a problem.
You will hear about it right here.
Yeah.
On Twitter, someone said they were like, they were saying, someone made a criticism about one of the other big YouTubers who create Cyberpunk content, right? When I say one of the other, because I'm one of them.
You're the biggest.
We're
the biggest channel about Cyberpunk.
Exactly. Yeah. And they said, like, you will always say everything good about Cyberpunk. And then he quote tweeted it saying, if the game comes out and there's something wrong with it, I'll be completely 100% upfront about it. Yeah. I love the look and everything so far, but I will be 100% thing. And then another YouTuber that I follow, she said the same thing and whatnot. And I was like, great. Queen. The Mad Queen, yeah. Great woman right there. She's such a nerd for this stuff. It's crazy. She said that. And then I quote tweeted, I'll be like, I'm going to go in the complete opposite direction. I'm going to be 100% biased. Anything CDPR does is completely fantastic. If there's a glaring issue, I will completely brush it aside and look at all the good points and say that everything is fantastic about the game. So that's my position right there.
I agree. Here's the thing as well.
I'm joking. I'm going to be completely upfront if there's ever anything.
Here's something that we should consider. As we're talking about, in particular, Cyberpunk's potentially short mainline.
Shorter than Witcher 3, they said.
Yeah.
Which is
long. Ghost of Tsushima, 20 to 25 hours.
Yeah.
There is no real different way to play that game. You play it as Jin, no matter which way you play it.
True.
Ultimately, he always makes the same decisions. That's just that. We suspect, which we can't confirm it, but we think that this game is going to have potentially 8 entirely different ways to play it, plus probably another, what's 8 times 8? 50 odd. Like micro differences of like, what spec do you pick? And do you take this side and that? Do you align yourself with this gang, or do you take that mission? Are you a corpo? What's your backstory, right? That to complete the game is probably going to be a few hundred hours, but to experience the entire game is probably going to be, you have to be that guy that put 400 hours on AC Odyssey.
I was going to say, it's a lifestyle at that point. It's not a game. You're not. It's not a hobby. It's a lifestyle at that point.
Which I'm hoping for. That's how I want. And again, have we not said for years that we would always rather have a game where your decisions matter and what you change matters, rather than it just being like 100 hours to play. That's the game we want, and I think this is going to deliver on it. Same with like The Witcher. Just to finish up, ultimately, there is only one way to play The Witcher because you play Geralt.
Yes.
Right? Geralt is an established character, and the only thing that really changes is you have 3 endings with Ciri, and then a slideshow at the end based on, did you kill this guy? Did that guy? What decisions did you make? We think this, V is this brand new, you are V. Whatever you decide, that's what V is in that version of things, right?
There's no set parameters for him. You're the one that's creating it.
Exactly, or her.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have plenty of game, even though it's a shorter mainline.
Another thing came out as well. The CDPR official Twitter account replied to somebody who asked, saying, "Please tell me the quests have many branches and several outcomes. I'm afraid to get overhyped for this game, but it's really hard not to. It looks amazing." And the CDPR officially tweeted out saying, "Our quest team is amazing. The Witcher 3 was a great warm-up in terms of quest design.
Wow.
Now we're going all in."
Wow.
The Witcher 3 was a warm-up. The game that has probably been mentioned every time someone comes up with great quest design.
I mean, like, wow. Here's the thing about those games. So even though I said that the main line isn't really altered, right? There's a couple of major events you have to do which determine which ending you get.
Yeah.
But things like the Red Baron.
Yeah.
What The Witcher did so well, which it's one of the reasons it really sticks with you, is it put you in real dilemmas.
Yeah.
Like the Red Baron, the quest, like...
What do you do?
Even though it doesn't really affect the world, it affects your game, your perspective of the game that you're playing.
It's also because you do, while you aren't Geralt, while he's a strong character, he's a mutant, he's a witcher, and so like, you do kind of want to put yourself in him because he's so
what would
cool.
I do? Yeah.
And not in him in that way, but in him, what would I be like, and what would my Geralt do? What would I do if I was Geralt? So when you make a decision and it might turn out differently, you feel almost personally impacted. So you want to make the right choice.
Also because in a lot of the cases there is not a right choice.
Yeah.
Most of the time you really are in a dilemma. Like there's that weird thing under the ground with the witches that if you free it, it's like a horse or something. If you free it, it's this weird tree eye thing that you can fight.
Yeah.
If you kill it,
I killed it. First time I did. Yeah.
I can't exactly remember what happens. In one scenario, if you let it out, something else does happen that's good for you, but it also murders like entire villages that have set up and are logging in the fields. So even though I think it makes a fight with one of the witches easier, I think, because they don't have something that they needed, something like that. But the price that you pay for that is that it isn't evil, by the way. It's maybe it's
possessed or something like a demon. Whatnot.
It's kind of like a force of nature, right? I send you a couple of times that nature's metal thing.
Yeah.
Nature's frickin' metal, and this thing, it's like, oh, you're logging trees. I don't like that because I'm like a nature spirit. Time for this entire village to die. Men, women, children. That's the price that you pay for the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
But it might benefit Geralt in a certain thing, but then technically
someone else has to pay somewhere.
There is no good side to it,
I'm interested to see what that means. That tweet means of it just being a warm up. That's going to be pretty insane to see. In summary, Conversations is objectively better than As Always. We honestly don't have the fucking answer.
No,
it's not going to be. I don't know what you're going to do because I honestly don't know what I'm going to do.
No.
I am okay with devoting my life to Cyberpunk and playing that game 24/7 until my eyes bleed.
Yeah.
But then we're in another position that we make content for a living on gaming. So people are going to ask us questions about how is Spiderman Miles Morales, and we're going to have to sit there with a straight face and say...
We don't care.
We don't care. No, we're going to say, we haven't played it.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've just been playing Cyberpunk.
And then they're going to say, but it's 2 months past the release, and we're going to say, yeah. Well, I've only played it 6 times. What do you expect?
Exactly. I've only played the Nomad as a brute build. I've only played the Nomad as a stealth build. I've only played
right, absolutely.
And then name all the others that you know. Come on, man, give me a break here.
Yeah. Also, I haven't even started on my car customization.
God, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean?
So
it's going to be a tough one. I'm hoping that Miles Morales, before I'm sure the reviews are going to come out, and they're going to say 10 hours long. I'm going to be like, maybe I can knock that out in 2 sittings during the day. Or on stream or something like that. I can just go bang out.
I suspect that maybe, not The Witcher, maybe Cyberpunk might not be the most ideal game to play until people have played it.
That's the question I asked on stream the other day, and it was very much like, I want to experience it for myself.
Yeah, people like maybe do some side content missions.
Yeah.
But then there's like no real underlying what we're doing. You're just grinding missions.
You're just walking around doing nothing, really.
Right.
And I'm sure there'll be great stuff when you go around the world. But
it can be very difficult to make that super interesting on stream without some sort of mainline quest to always give you a purpose on the stream.
You need the carrot on the end of the stick to be followed.
And so, hopefully, that means that because you have started to stream a bit more on this channel, that you can use that as an excuse to, right, I'm going to chuck in Miles Morales.
Every Sunday and Wednesday for all you guys. I've kept to a nice schedule for the last 3 weeks. It's been going strong.
Which, by the way, a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, we've mentioned a few times on a couple of the podcasts about the back-end stuff, is starting to prove out that was completely accurate.
Yes.
That we were
We've
right.
said a couple of times that we're going to test some YouTube stuff out. We fucking nailed it now. We know exactly what it all is.
And we're starting to really pick up. This channel's starting to grow. I think overall the main channel grows a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
But proportionately, this channel's doing so much better. Way better.
Let me read out Diogo's one. This is the last one of the guys who wrote in about their hype levels for next gen. Diogo says, my hype levels for next gen are a little bit all over the place, to be honest. One aspect one aspect I'm not excited, I guess supposed to be, or isn't excited since a few games are available on PS4, but another part of me is excited to get that nice looking console. I'm finally having the ability to watch 4K movies, because you've got a new 4K monitor recently for the new console. But as the days go on, I'm more and more hyped for Spiderman Miles Morales. But that's literally it for the games this year, for me. Other than maybe getting Crash 4 discount when it comes to Christmas. That's true.
I forgot about Crash.
Yeah, so not much hype for launch, if you get me. That's what he's trying to say there.
Do you know what? Good point. So I was saying, other than Cyberpunk, I'm really excited for Ratchet & Clank because it looks like it's really changing, not changing, but like growing really well into the new tech.
Utilising some of the new tech and stuff like that.
Crash is doing the exact same thing. And this is why I feel really burnt by Xbox.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons I dig on Xbox so much is they're my ex. You know, I was an Xbox bot. I was all about Xbox growing up. Don't get me wrong. I didn't really have any particular loyalty. I played Final Fantasy on the PlayStation. I loved my PlayStations. I've had every single one since the one. But Halo brought me in. Really brought me in deep on Xbox, on the 360 in particular. And COD was so much better on the 360. The UI of the 360 was so much better. The PS3, although it did end up being more powerful, very clunky, UI sucked, all that stuff, right? And I pushed really hard for us to go from PS3, because I was playing on the PS3 with you guys.
Yeah.
And then whenever I was playing on my own, it was like Dead Space, Call of Duty, whatever, on the 360 and Halo. I pushed for us to go to the Xbox One. Thankfully, we didn't, because that turned out to be a terrible idea. But that's the reason I bitch about Xbox so much, is because
you're a jaded lover.
Absolutely. And you look at games like Crash and see how much they're growing and changing. And then you look at the Xbox last event and you're like, you don't have anything, but you have all these IPs. Where's
you have to bring out a goddamn game. That's
where's
what we need.
Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah.
Where you have these things, you know, and they have a few small houses that are trying their best. And I think some of them bring out some interesting things. I think 12 Minutes looks incredibly interesting.
I can't wait.
Right?
But we're going to have to get an Xbox for it because it's an exclusive.
Are we?
That's true. That's true. Game Pass right there.
Right? Like, that's what I'm saying.
I don't have to invest in the ecosystem. I don't have to invest in Xbox. I can easily £1 and get Game Pass for a month. Play
That's what I'm saying. And I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sold on the consoles. And look, cards out there. The PS5 has all this different, brand new, like proprietary tech. It's possible that it has reliability issues, right? The 360 was
it's uncharted territory. It could mean that we haven't tested it enough.
Doubt it. Personally, I doubt it. I think it's going to run fine, but it could do, right? And then I'll look stupid for having put it out there. But other than that, I think, you know, it looks like by far the better console. And maybe on paper it isn't the most powerful, but I think its delivery is going to be, you know, like imagine putting 1,000 horsepower motorbike engine on like a pedal bike.
Yeah.
It won't be able to put it down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then if you put a 15 horsepower motor on
it tears away.
It'll tear away. Exactly. Like, It's how's it going to develop, how's it going to be usable for you, and I think the PS5's just got it there.
I think it's got it, especially with their dedicated audio engine, which is separate to the GPU power. So like that was it 10.2 teraflops, 10.28 teraflops that they've measured. Doesn't include the audio stuff that's being processed on the other side, whereas the Xbox is 12 teraflops that also has to run the audio, which is probably another 1 and a bit teraflops. It brings it much closer together. But anyway, we're not here to get into numbers, but we'll see how that pans out when the games come out.
There's the hardware aspect of it, and then there's also the way the games look like they're developing. And the only really interesting things coming on Xbox, as far as I can see, Medium, 12 minutes, and Fable. Fable, I think Tyler thinks it's 2022, right?
Yeah.
I think 2023 at the earliest.
He's a madman. That's what he is. So that's that.
2023 at the earliest. And I gotta be honest, like, nothing about the Xbox makes me look at it and go, like, the game swapping.
Yeah.
I just think the PlayStation is going to load quickly enough that it's not going to matter.
I think it's good. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. From a cold boot, it's probably going to be really quick. Now, granted, it'll still be quicker with the quick resume.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool feature.
But the PlayStation's going to have the rest mode thing.
It's going to have
fast is that?
And I'm sure they're going to have their own type of quick resume thing on here, whatever. Do you mind if we move over to our next topic?
Yeah,
because we are talking a lot. It's a great conversation. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the guys are loving this at home right now.
Yeah, let's move away from the PlayStation. Or what was the topic?
The next topic is the PlayStation 5 UI. So that got revealed the day of the Night City Wire event.
Yeah, we did cover it.
We were live on stream. We was like, let's watch this right before the stream. We get a live reaction of it. We put up on our channel. I don't understand how, but some audio got some fucked up towards the end of it.
What?
Conversations, tech issues. Don't know what happened.
Part of the brand.
Part of the brand. But we got to see the PlayStation 5 UI. It was demoed in an 11-minute video. Currently sitting at like 12 million views. Best part of 12 million views. Fucking phenomenal stuff.
The ratio is really good on it as well.
Really good. What was your general impression of the UI? Did you think it looked decent? This like card system you've got going on here.
I absolutely love the fact that it's I guess for lack of a better word, live. So you don't have to come out of the game to bring it up. There is definitely, and look, we knew that they were in there, suits making decisions. Right? Sony's a huge corporation. Some suit thought it was a good idea to have, I mean, maybe half those cards are utterly useless. I bet if we ever got the data, literally half of them get access less than 1% of the time.
I was going to say, some of these could probably go away and then you can get a bit more streamlined. There is a customize button at the bottom somewhere that I saw, so maybe you'll be able to choose which ones are worth it and stuff like that.
That's probably worth doing.
But I have to say, we watched it live and we couldn't get our first things, but then I watched it again afterwards. I kind of really like it.
I think it looks good.
The progress of like each level and in terms of trophies as well, like how many more you've got of like headshots to do for this and whatnot. And I do like that you can get immediate access to screenshots while you're in the game. You don't, like you said, you don't have to come out and stuff like that. Official news when it comes up for the game, if there is anything big, some new next gen update or what, something. I kind of like it. It's not bad.
I really dig a couple of things. One, it's very clean, it's very neat, right? But I expect the Xbox is going to look very similar. Not similar, but also be very clean. The stuff that's in progress, though, so when I'm playing, for example, Ghost of Tsushima, if I want to go to one of the missions, I'm just like trying to clean up what I've got. Because I'm a retard, I do this all the time. Hit the map, hit the button so the menu comes up.
Yeah.
Scroll past it, forget, go back to the mission thing, find the mission that I'm looking for, exit, where was it supposed to be? Go back into the mission, find it, mark it on the map, come out, forget where I was going, go back to the map, fast travel where I was going.
You need this system is what you're saying.
Just being able to go, okay, that's the one I want, click, take me there, is going to save me so much time. And realistically, it's going to save me probably 5 times as much time as anyone else because I forget to fast travel, not super often, but if it's close enough, I'll just run there or get the horse or whatever. There's always something shiny on the way.
Yep.
Always.
Especially in Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Always. Or a bird or a fox,
I really like this. And here you can see, like, it's got... the best part about this, all of these statistics of the, like, your progress in a certain level or your progress in a trophy and stuff like that is all natively built in with a nice handshake between the game and the UI.
Yeah.
It's not like a Like right now, if you get a trophy or you want to check on your trophies, it's hit the PlayStation button,
Come out,
scroll
down
to the side, go up to the PlayStation the trophies, hit the button, sync with the PlayStation network, go to the right one. Oh, it's moved up a step, so you need to go back up, hit that button, go in, load it, and then you see each individual one square.
Yeah.
Very, very tiring and very cumbersome. This looks so good and so beautiful the way it's built in.
One of the things it's got that I appreciate is in big bold lettering. About 10 minutes left.
Yeah, that's another thing as well.
Like, you're going through, like, I got 20 minutes before I'm supposed to leave or goes to work or whatever. What am I going to do? Oh, this one. Yeah, you got about 10 minutes left. This one, 25 minutes. This one, you got 3 out of 10.
I can work this in that time.
It's the exact kind of information I need if I want to complete it. If I just want to continue to play the game, I'll play for 20 minutes, but I'm not going to look at this.
Yeah.
If I want to maybe wrap something up, I've got 5 minutes left, I'll just finish that one up.
I was going to say, useful especially because like when I'm streaming and whatnot, we're playing a game. Obviously, I want to end on a nice area, like the end of a mission or something like that, not right in the middle. So I can go, okay, let me check. Oh, about 25 minutes left. We've got 20 minutes left of the stream. I can stretch it another 5 minutes so we can get that done. Or, this one's going to be another hour. We've only got 10 minutes left. I'll just end it. I'll pause it right here or whatever it might be. That's useful information right there.
Yeah.
And another
not just
thing,
for people streaming.
Exactly.
Just useful for
someone
you.
might just need to go out to work, like you said. There was one other thing that I really liked as well. Like there was it showed us the loading into a new game, which was again really fast.
That's
and
something
stuff
as
like
well.
that.
This doesn't have a game switch feature like the Xbox does, but the way it loads games now, it may feel slow in a few years when we're used to it, because everything does.
Yeah, exactly.
But compared to how long it takes to load a game now, this is basically quick switch.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the SSD.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't need to.
Everything's just loaded.
Spin down the disc. Okay, find the bit, spin it back up. It just goes.
There was one thing that I'm struggling to find right now. Do you remember there was the game, part of the game where you was viewing the other person's Uncharted 4 Lost Legacy?
Oh, yeah. I think that's actually further to the left. Or it might be further to the right, I don't know.
Oh, it's after this. Here we go. I see. Watch the share screen. So there
Yeah.
was a point where you could watch someone else's gameplay. And you've got that feature now through SharePlay at the moment. Yeah. But it's very limited because the PlayStation can't handle it.
It's pretty intrusive as well.
Exactly. And you've got this picture-in-picture mode. I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but do you know what this could be amazing for? We was playing Ghost Legends last night.
Yes.
I could get your picture over here, and maybe the next guy, and the next guy, and then I could stream the entire gameplay of everybody's perspective playing the game.
That would be cool. I think,
Wouldn't that be so cool?
Especially again because the ports are going to be so much better. Like even the PS4 Pro is pretty limited. Your internet it's not using anywhere near.
My internet is quite decent. We run a YouTube channel, so that's something right there.
I mean, even mine, which is BT Infinity, I think 40 down and 10 up.
Yeah.
Absolutely good enough.
Yeah.
That is not what my PS4 is
not
using.
what the PS4 reads.
But I think the PS5 is going to be able to access probably all of it.
Yeah.
I suspect if we ever jump on COD, my KD's going to jump. Because I mean, that's
finally input lag is down.
is one of those things, and I know that's like the case, but like.
I really like the look of this UI. I can't wait to get it. Another little Easter egg, a little thing that I noticed in this thing here. The Sid Schumann, his profile was a Killzone Hellgast head.
We said it on the live stream as well, yeah.
I think that's pretty much confirmed they're making a Killzone game.
Good enough for me. Let's make the video.
Let's make the video, guys. So what's happening, everybody, and welcome back to another live video. I think we're going to get a Killzone. And he was named Kenzo, which is a character in the Killzone universe and whatnot.
It also makes sense. Historically, Killzones tend to come out in the early life cycle of the generation anyway.
Killzone Shadowfall at the beginning of PS4.
Which I want to like Killzone so much. There was just something about it. Like, I love the visuals of it.
Yeah.
Just something about playing it.
It's a sluggier game. Like, you're more heavier of a character. It's not for everyone, especially when you play games like Call of Duty.
It reminded
me...
Very
different.
Kind of bizarre thing, because it... Similar, actually, because I'd been on the Xbox 360 and then got this Killzone and not really vibed with it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of... it had kind of a Gears of War feel to it, because these dudes are walking muscle tanks.
Fucking tanks, yeah.
And I just never vibed with not Killzone. Gears of War.
Gears
There's
of
something
War.
about it I didn't vibe with it. I always preferred Halo and Call of Duty. And I wanted to love Killzone. I found what little story I managed to get quite intriguing. I love that, like, almost steampunk, futuristic look.
Yeah.
That, like, industrial thing. I think that's a great look for it. Plus those Hellgas masks, man. How good do those look?
Great looking characters.
And one of the things that came out of it was just the way the game felt to play, which is the worst reason to put down a game.
Yeah.
Because I feel stupid, because it clearly had a good story, and like I could feel it was in there, but then I didn't enjoy the
if it feels
experience
like
of
a chore to play,
That's
if
the
it
thing.
feels like a chore to play, you're not going to play it.
Exactly.
Simple as. And that's down to Guerrilla to work out, the guys that make it. Hopefully they come up with the next one. I really want to see that.
Yeah, I hope so.
And also Resistance as well. They've been tweeting out pictures of the Resistance game. I hope that happens as well, because I'm a big fan of that as well. Yeah, so that's the PlayStation 5 UI. I can't wait to see that.
It looks interesting.
It looks interesting. There was something else that came out as well.
Okay.
So PlayStation 4 recently got the 8.0 update to the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Now, it's brand new thing. There's a couple of things they're putting in there in preparation for the PlayStation 5, new party systems, messaging and stuff like that. But two things have got people angry.
Okay.
One of them not so bad. The other one could be bad depending on how you decide to view it.
Okay.
One of them is they changed the party system so that you have to now create groups
I did see that when I was making the thing last night.
in order to message people and in order to talk on party chat, if you're going to use the party chat within PlayStation 4.
I hated that, yeah.
Right now it's like, well, before anyway, it was like, oh, this person, send to party chat, invite another person, done. The way they're doing it now is a bit like on Discord. You know when we want to make a podcast Discord thing?
Yeah.
We have to make a whole nother group for someone and then add that person in, but that person needs to be a friend and then they get to see the messages from before. It's a weird, cumbersome thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it because it's adding more steps to a system that was pretty efficient. All you need to do is just make it faster, the UI faster.
Although, is that something that on the PS5 is just going to make total sense?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is to do with all of these other features of being able to play with your friends and send them screenshots and share play very quickly and easily. I think making a group with a friend that you know and you like is going to make those other things amazing.
Yeah.
But it does make this one thing of joining a party chat with
Right,
somebody
that's clunky,
kind of clunky and whatnot. We have to see what it's going to be like when the PlayStation 5 comes out.
Yes.
I have to believe that that's the reason why they've done it. But they also have put out a tweet saying, we've heard your feedback. We're going to see what we can do. Bear with us. I don't know what they're going to change, whether they're just going to revert it back or whether they're just going to say, wait to the PS5. I don't know.
You would think it wouldn't be too hard to say, okay, that the update, say for people's accounts, is required, that their accounts have access to the code that's going to be required when they log into the PS5. But if they're on a PS4, don't run this freaking system.
Right.
Right?
Should be, you can always, also because the PS4's a different UI, a different system, it could just be a different version of the firmware.
Right.
I don't know, I'm not a developer, but they probably wanted to make sort of like uniformity in some areas, just so everything talks nicely to each other.
Do you know what I think it is? I think they're trying to streamline the fact that some people are going to be playing on the PS4 with their friends on a PS5.
Yeah.
And trying to make it so that both can communicate across. Because this.
Could you imagine the headline if it said PS4 users cannot talk online to PS5 users?
Right, exactly.
Almost like a hierarchy. Like, peasants, get away from me.
Right.
Get away from me, you peasants.
For those juicy clicks, juicy clicks, because Sony's been too good, that they'll say Sony's trying to force people to buy the PS5 by refusing to allow PS4 users to play with their friends on PS5.
Exactly.
Like, that would be the headline. So I wonder if it isn't trying to solve that problem, but like by trying to solve a problem you cause. It's like, as medications. Like, oh, you're feeling suicidal? Take these antidepressants. Side effects may cause suicide.
Oh, damn it. Oh, God.
Like,
or like, this causes nose bleeding. Well, now we've got to give you another pill to fix the nose bleeding. It's like, oh, here we go.
You got this so that you could get erections, but it causes a nosebleed. Here's one to deal with the nosebleeds, but it can stop erections.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Cancel each other out. Anyway, I'm not too fussed about it because nowadays we use a lot of Discord.
We do.
And a lot of people are using Discord. And we've got a community, so maybe this is different for us.
It's very convenient for us. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the best way to do it. I hope PlayStation come out with a Discord app or the ability for Discord to be played on there because that's the best way. But there is the second thing, which is a little bit more and depends on how you feel it.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you how I feel yet. I want to see how you feel, but it's not a trap. Don't worry.
All right.
The PlayStation 8.0 update now enables for Sony to record and listen to conversations.
No.
In party chat.
No, fuck you.
In party chat.
Absolutely not.
In an attempt to moderate the ecosystem.
No. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, fuck you again. And I used the full hard F.
There you go.
No, not okay.
Chef doesn't like using the F word. And
totally against that. That is a suit right there. You know my big thing. Look, I don't care what you identify as or any of that stuff. What I do care is if you're a fucking suit. And I don't like suits. I'm a suit racist and I'm out and proud. No. Totally against that. I can't tell you how much I don't like that.
Yeah.
And look, this isn't a case of like... We know for a fact that like in previous years, like terrorists have used game chat services.
That plays into this and I'll tell you about that later.
No, it's still not okay.
Yeah.
And I know that's a really weird thing to say, but
Yeah.
I think people don't value privacy enough. And I think it's and privacy, I'm talking about like just jamming with your friends. But also, look, WhatsApp is entirely encrypted.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big a deal. People can just download WhatsApp and use the voice chat on that. Totally encrypted. The messages, totally encrypted. Do you know how hard it's even difficult for WhatsApp to get access to your messages through WhatsApp, right? And I'm not saying that, I guess that kind of sounds pro-terroristy, but my point is I'm all about privacy.
That's the thing.
And people's rights. Like, you have a right to privacy. I have a right to jam with you and tell you how much I cannot wait to play V as, a female, but with a 12-inch, cyber schlong.
Exactly. A big 1.8-inch schlong. Right
That's it.
there.
The horse.
Like the full-on thing. Yeah. That's the thing. When I first heard this, and when a lot of people first heard this, there was a couple of steps we went through, because it's private party chats that are being monitored. And it's like, why are you... Because they initially said for moderation. So what, you trying to catch people out that they use like racial slurs or whatever it might be? It's like, but it's in private chat. Who's going to report them if they're in private chat?
Exactly.
You're going to rat on your friends? What kind of bullshit's that? And then it's like, I mean, if it was in-game chat, then I understand, but it's not. And then it went a step further that PlayStation did find out that there were terrorist groups that were using private party chats to communicate with each other, and they're trying to... It seems like they're trying to root those people out. Now, after 9/11, now anytime you go into an airport, you do have to go through all of these ridiculous checks. For a normal person, completely ridiculous. It's like, why do I need to be touched up? Why do I need to go through this scanner that shows off my balls? Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do that? Okay, I'm not carrying a thing in my belt or something like that. Oh, no, this pin that I stepped in isn't actually supposed to be held. I'm not going to hold the pilot at pinpoint, something like that. We're in a ridiculous area, and this is what this is. So, because of these terrorists, we're now having to suffer from this.
Just to touch on that point, and this is going to sound really bizarre to a lot of people, but I'm going to say the worst thing about 9/11 was not the attack. It was the response afterwards.
Yeah, we overly corrected.
Way overcorrected for it. And the damage to people's civil liberties and privacy, the Patriot Act in America, which we always copy that stuff, right, has been so much more damaging than the attack, which was atrocious. It was an absolute tragedy. One of the worst things that can happen. But the overcorrection to, like, I don't want this to turn into a conspiracy podcast, but it's so bad. And I think if I just do not like it at all, especially, like you say, in private things. Also, I have to say, despite it being just disgusting and atrocious, I do think public chat should be unmoderated. I think it builds character. If you grow up being like, how many kids have slept with our mums and called us the hard R?
Yes.
And same with, I mean, we got friends who are all colours of the spectrum, all religions, races, genders, all that stuff. Well, 2 genders. I don't care. There's only 2. I don't care. Sexualities, all that stuff. Like, when a stranger calls you that thing, it toughens you up a little bit.
Yeah, right? It prepares you for the outside world. It's not like...
Also, in reality, people aren't that mean to you. So when you experience it from people that it doesn't matter when they say it, and then you realise people that it would matter don't do it.
Yeah.
Like...
People are decent. Yeah, not bad.
In general, or realize that if they do it, they're going to get messed up. And I don't mean like, physically. Like if you say that in a place of work, you're going to genuinely lose your job and probably shouldn't. I'm not talking like the wow feminazi stuff. I'm talking like, if you harass someone because they're homosexual or something at work, like you're probably going to lose your job and you deserve it. Right?
Deserve it.
And so dudes, I think people are getting too delicate, right? And the fact is, in the real world, like people don't really care that much about your feelings. People care much more about performance and stuff. And if you get along with the team, like it. Also, they put a mute function in almost instantly. You turn up and someone calls you a hard R or a retard or whatever, and you just bang, mute. You're a dick. Mute.
It's easier for PlayStation not to do anything about this, which makes me think that maybe there was outside influence here.
I don't even care though. Like WhatsApp is one's bringing it against WhatsApp.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, but I'm thinking maybe there was outside influence, and maybe there was some sort of strong arming. Like you guys were partially responsible for these terrorists actually communicating. So it's your fault.
Do you know what,
it's like I don't even know.
I don't buy that at all.
Because it's just a theory,
like,
but
Oh no! I mean, I actually do buy the fact that there was probably outside influence by Karens, right? Yeah. Because a Karen is the sort of person that will blame all sorts of things. Like, for example, Karens are the sort of people where like some terrorist or whatever will shoot up a place, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll bang guns or whatever. They never think about like the car. Like there've been horrendous France, Nice, right? Yeah. There was a terrorist guy, and he used a truck on a bridge, and killed like 80 people. And he had a bomb and 3 machine guns in the cab with him, and he used the truck as a weapon. No one was talking about getting rid of the trucks and truck licensing and stuff like that, right? Because Karens focus on the wrong things.
They're not the ones to listen to.
The tool isn't the problem. The tool of communication isn't the problem. It's the people that are the problem. Yeah. And the fact is, if the terrorists or whoever learn, which of course they will, because they're keeping an eye on these things. These guys aren't stupid.
I was going to say, this isn't going to deter them at all. It's going to find another way.
They will use Discord or WhatsApp or whatever. Something, or there are
Can't
plenty
keep
of...
banning everything, otherwise we'll have nothing left.
Well, also, the more things you ban, the more things like, I don't know anything about the deep web and that stuff and Tor and stuff, but they're just going to make these things... And people like me are going to make... I mean, I don't have the skills, but I'm going to make stuff like that not because I want to talk about anything, but because... Fuck you! It's my privacy. Like, I think it's really important that people have their privacy and have a right to privacy, and to not have anyone listening. That's why if I ever want to have a real discussion with someone, I take all electronics away, because I don't want ads for lion baby costumes or whatever, if that's what we're talking about. But my phone is probably going to show me that because it's always listening. Yeah. And I think I genuinely, and I've made this joke a few times about Skynet and stuff, but I don't think people are afraid enough of their technology.
Should be.
Because you really should be. And
kind of like Elon Musk here. He's very... But then again, what he's saying, a little bit of that's truth. Bit of truth right there. A bit
of it is truth. And obviously Elon Musk and I are very smart people.
Very smart people. You're also good friends.
We are.
Every Sunday playing golf together.
It's true.
It's right there.
So I mean, one of us is going to get the species to Mars.
Exactly.
And it may not be Elon. Right?
But yeah, that's the shit that's going on with the PlayStation 5 update. PlayStation 4 update.
How do you feel about that? The privacy thing in particular.
That's the thing. I'm not gonna. I haven't used the party channel in a long time. I'm not gonna use it. So it's not gonna affect me. I don't like it though. That's the problem. I don't like that it's overcorrecting, like the whole thing with the whole airport stuff. It's taking away a liberty of ours in the hopes that you try and stop this 1 or 2%. Which again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you could stop one paedophile, would you? It's like, yeah, of course I would. But what about if you was to sacrifice this? It'd be like, well, I don't want the paedophile to go and rape little kids.
Like, but we're doing what ifs. Here's the difference. Those guys that are asking you, I will bash a paedophile's brains out.
Exactly. It's one of those.
They won't.
It's
That's
one
the
of those
difference.
Things. I don't want to lose anything. I think it's better if we find other ways to stop these people and not sacrifice stuff that we do.
I totally agree. Here's the big thing. We'll end this on this.
Yeah.
Suits are always the problem.
Yeah.
And these are the same types of people that think this will work, right? These are the same suits that, while the lockdown was going on, didn't fix the roads when no one was out there. These are the same people that at airport security take all your liquids away because it might be a bomb. And where do they put them? Next to the most congested area in the thing, in a bin altogether, because it might be a bomb.
That's stupid. I didn't realise that before.
These are the suits that make the decisions, right? The same guys, when no one was on the road, didn't fix the roads. The same guys that take liquids away because it could be a bomb and put it in the most congested area because it might be a bomb.
This bottle of water could be a bomb, so we're going to take it away and put it with these other bottles of liquids that could be bombs as well.
Suits.
My God, that's stupid. I didn't think about that.
And that's why I'm an out and proud suit racist.
There we go. Out and proud. He's finally out. There we go.
I guess bigot, right? They're not a race. Yeah. I would say they're a race. They're all subhuman scum, right?
I was going to say, whichever the applicable term is.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our next topic is about an interview with Phil Spencer and Kotaku regarding the Bethesda game studio acquisition that Microsoft made not too long ago.
I've already got a headache.
So, in the last episode, we did talk a little bit about it, and we were pretty much on the side, weren't we, that we were saying that it's ridiculous to assume that PlayStation are going to be locked out from future games.
Yeah, no way.
At least for the foreseeable future. Maybe far down the line it might be different.
Certainly not with AAA titles.
Exactly.
Certainly not.
They want to make their money back, and this is the thing right here.
Which that's going to be hard for the purchase price. I don't know what else the parent company makes, because they didn't buy Bethesda. They bought the company that owns Bethesda.
ZeniMax. Yeah.
I don't really know what ZeniMax makes, and I haven't seen their financials. But if they're banking on Bethesda to make this back, mate, not unless the next Fallout is New Vegas levels, right? and then the next one after that, and then they come up with another bio. Like this is gonna take some doing, boys.
Yeah,
some doing.
That was the funny thing when it first came out. It's like they bought Bethesda Studios. I was like, that shitty studio? It's like that's not a good thing. You know that, right?
Their name is trash right now. Right?
It used to be great. Now it
used to be. I can't think of a game they've made that I care about since Skyrim, and I didn't even finish it.
Exactly.
So,
anyway, this was an interview basically wanting to get more information about the Xbox Series X or stuff like that, and specifically about what they can expect from this new deal, whether PlayStation would get games on the new service. Now,
can I make a prediction?
Go ahead.
He doesn't say, he doesn't give an answer.
It's kind of like that. He says something that some people can interpret as a different way.
Yeah.
I'll read it out to you here. Basically, he asks about the acquisition and stuff like that. And he goes, is it possible to recoup $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation?
Well, absolutely not.
Exactly.
Not even if they do, it's not happening, but continue.
A normal person sees that. However, Phil Spencer...
Yes, I knew he would say it.
Phil Spencer says, yes, straight away.
No.
That's a lie, but don't worry about it. Yeah. He then paused, apparently, and then he goes, I don't want to...
If Trump had lied that hard... We'd have torn him to shreds for 3 weeks.
Oh my God! It would have been the talk of the town. Every news outlet would have covered it. Such a terrible lie, right there.
Okay, go on.
It's like we're all idiots. Like you think we're all idiots. Anyway, he goes. I don't want to be flip about that. This deal does not take. Is not to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation does it that we put together was how do we keep players from playing these games. We want more people to play these games, not fewer people to be able to play the games. It says games a lot there.
It does, yeah.
But I'll also say, in the model, I'm just answering directly to that question you had. When I think about where people are going to play and the number of devices we had, and we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass on our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on other platforms other than the platforms we support in order to make any kind of deal work for us. That's what that means. He's dancing around being able to say. What he wants to say is, we don't have to ship to PlayStation in order to make our money back.
It's not true.
But he's not saying it because he knows it's not true.
It's not true.
You can't say that and not because no one believe it.
So based on units from the last thing, 30 million units.
I was going to say,
what are you doing?
I was trying to change your orientation up because then it goes, and then if you go, there you go.
So bearing in mind 30 million units, and they're going to buy, this is only Xbox for whatever the game was.
Elder Scrolls 6.
Elder Scrolls. If 30 million people purchase it at $70, they make $2.1 American, not real billions, like either
2.1, American $1 billion.
Yeah, so $2.1 billion.
And that's sales from the game that doesn't take into account the amount of development cost, the production, stuff like that, which you only get to keep, what is it, like 20% of that on top.
Let's say it's 100% profit.
Yeah. You still haven't made it back. That's the thing. So he says this whole paragraph here that I read out that is filled with the word games and about players and stuff like that, just so he doesn't have to say we can make that money back, because he knows that that sentence would be brought back to haunt him.
Yeah.
Because we know, as just normal people with educated guesses, we could say that that is not true, that you cannot sell it to one thing. They may very well do it. That's totally, we've said as well, they may just go, fuck you, PlayStation, you don't get this game. They may do that. But they're not going to be making money that way. And they're not making money from Game Pass at the moment because they want to do that.
It looks like there were 20 million copies of Skyrim sold. That's across... presumably across PC. I mean, maybe you can find a better. I'm doing it on my phone.
A quick look.
But let's say that's correct. That's PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. 20 million. They need 30 million at $70, and that's literally everyone on the Xbox side of things. Fact is, by the way, which no one ever seems to talk about, I think that's the number I found as well. Same article. PC don't pay full retail. They don't pay what we pay
as well.
because it's digital. And also, why are we? That's something that I hope will change, or needs to be addressed, which is I'm not going to be okay buying a game digitally on the PlayStation or Xbox, let's say, where a PC guy buys the exact same game for half the price. That's not gonna fly.
I love this one thing. There was someone in a forum just asked, how many copies of Skyrim have been sold? And you know when you get those useless answers from some people? He goes, I would guess millions. Fucking...
Thanks, bro.
Thank you, King of Skyrim. Fucking arsehole right there. But this is just a rough estimate, he says. 20 million is as of 2014, so that was like roughly when the game came out and stuff like that. It's probably sold a lot more because it came out on every platform ever to exist, even your microwave since then.
Yep.
But it's going to be roughly in that sort of ballpark range right there.
Yep.
It's not going to make its money back if it only sells on Xbox.
That is a third of what they need.
And go on, finish what you can say.
That's a third of what they need at 100% profit margin, which it isn't.
And no one on Xbox is going to be paying the $70. They are going to be getting it on Game Pass.
True.
So,
did we not
even less of the profit right there? And that's the whole thing.
Have we not
Phil,
been saying...
You're lying here. You're lying.
Have we not been saying that Game Pass is not what it's sold as? It's sold as being pro-consumer, but it isn't, because it ultimately hurts Xbox in the long run. It's short-sighted. It
is short-sighted. It's a Western, more closer to America style of thinking, where as long as the customer is profiting from this, as long as they're getting something from it, they don't really care about what's happening in the back end. I remember back in the day, I used to have arguments with people online. This was back in the early PlayStation 4 era, where... Best Buy were doing buy 2 games and get the third free for brand new console games that were coming out. And I was like, how are they doing this when over here we have to pay full £60 over here for one title? And then they were like, oh, it's just over here. They write off stuff and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, but how do they make money then and stuff like that? And then there was the conversation about the Order 1886. People were like, buy the game, play it, and then give it back. I was like, but you've opened it. How are you going to give it back? Yeah. They were like, oh, the company just writes it off. And I was like, so how does the company make any money by doing that? They do it because they want the customers to be happy. That's the big thing over there, isn't it? It just doesn't make sense.
Also, America has much more flexible
finances.
For example...
Let's not go too deep into finances, but...
But like, for example, if you have a job here, you have a job, that's where your taxes go, right?
Yeah.
And it's done at the job. And if you have a car to get to and from work, you eat that cost. In America, you do your own taxes. You can write that off against the money that you earned from your job.
Right.
Right? It goes into your tax. Same with businesses. They can write... A lot of people are going to buy the game and keep it, right? Because they're just lazy, or maybe sell it on second hand. So they keep the money. And the people that do return it, they write that off, and they get to write that off against a future year's profits or the profits from this year. And so it's how Amazon, I think it's Amazon and both Netflix, haven't ever made a profit. But they're these multi-million, billion...
They just claim they've never made a profit of this stuff.
Because they eat all these losses, which are tax losses. Despite that they've made billions and billions,
Strange way that works.
They've made all these tax losses, so.
But yeah, this is what Phil Spencer's saying, to bring it back to that.
Yes.
Phil Spencer,
worst liar I've ever met. Let's play freaking poker with Phil.
mate, it's just
I totally don't have the ace.
Right, everything he says is like, oh, I've got nothing. It's like, oh yeah, sure, okay, I'm out. No problem. Like, oh, you've got something, have you? All in, see how that goes. This is, and the thing is that everybody online took this as gospel, and they made what they wanted to make out of that, which is a roundabout way of kind of saying we don't need to put it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But the key fact is, if he wanted to say that, he could, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He went a roundabouts to say it because he knows it's not true in his heart of hearts. That's the thing right there. Yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about that came out right
Yeah,
there.
that seems ridiculous, to be honest.
There is one other rumour that came out. Complete and utter ridiculous rumour that just got spun up by someone. There's a rumour that Microsoft is buying Ubisoft. Two things about that. One, complete bullshit.
Obviously, yeah.
And two, who would buy Ubisoft?
In fairness...
Currently the way they are, who would buy Ubisoft?
In fairness, who would buy Bethesda?
Good point. Microsoft, you're doing it again, guys. You were doing it again.
How many copies of AC Valhalla are you going to have to sell at 100% profit to make that one?
Oh, God.
Also, normally, they say how, like, one bad apple spoils the bunch.
Yeah.
People don't normally handpick the bad apple.
Right? Just like, and I'll have that bad apple and that bad apple.
Look, this one's crawling with worms. Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll take all of those.
$5 billion.
That's the thing. Who goes, they're terrible right now. They're infested with terrible people. I'm going to buy them. That's the company that I want. At least when you bought Bethesda, all you bought was just buggy games. But the people could at least code, right? Kinda, to the, know.
There isn't a systemic,
harassment.
God. Like, a culture of just belittling people and sexually assaulting people, or harassing, whichever the word is.
Complete and utter bullshit right there. I can't believe that rumour's going round.
That's so dumb.
The next thing, this was actually confirmed hours before we started recording here today, which is fucking great. And it's funny because it happened literally yesterday. I was thinking about this. I was thinking, around about the PlayStation 4 when it was getting going, we got the tease of the first Kojima game.
Yeah.
Death Stranding. We didn't know what was going on there, but we were getting the tease. He's back from PlayStation. Kojima Productions have just confirmed that they're working on their next title right now. No idea what it is. They're hiring people for it. They just said, literally, we're hiring for our brand new developer. We can confirm we are working on a new game.
Life Stranding.
Life Stranding. There we go, guys. Yeah, you heard it here first. Shep's called it, and we do call a lot of things. But that's happening right now.
I swear to God, if that is what they come with.
Could you imagine? I have to think of something different. I think they, the way they ended Death Stranding, it was like very nice.
I have to say, I'm loving the idea that we'll get just some solid standalones.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't vibe with that. There was just a single point of Death Stranding where I was like, you know what, I'm not committed to this enough to finish it.
Yeah.
But the idea of just pouring your heart and soul into a project, making it, completing it, and then it's done. And if it needs patching, it gets patched. But that's it. That's the game. Here you go. Now we make another one.
Yeah.
Instead of coming up to like Metal Gear 15 or Fast and Furious 28 or, Call of Duty 71.
Final Fantasy 35, whatever it is.
That you just say... And that's the thing. I think at some point, Final Fantasy, great example, they're just going to need to, restart the franchise and not restart the franchise, but move to another. It's basically Final Fantasy, but call it something else, like
give it a
Soul
new name.
Rivers or something, right? Like
the second fantasy,
or like First Fantasy,
after the Final Fantasy, because it's not the final one. There's many of them.
Final Fantasy 358/2.
I'm excited for this purely for part of what you said, where you said like pouring your heart and soul into something and whatnot. Yeah. That was the main reason why I liked Death Stranding, was because it was him just being full Kojima.
He did go full Kojima on that.
Full. Yeah. It was crazy, and I wanted to just see how his mind worked. And
did you learn anything?
I was going to say, some of the stuff I didn't get. Some of the stuff I didn't get after. I need to properly inspect it. But I loved it because it was a full expression of art, and it was a full expression of what a game could be if you just go crazy. Sorry?
It's what PT could have been, which I never would have played. But like, I want these just standalone. Like, I have this idea and I need to get it out. I need to get this made. Like, just make this incredible piece and then be done at the end of the project.
Yeah.
You know, there's something to be said for starting something and finishing it. You know?
Yeah, that's pretty. I want to see more of it. I can't wait to see what happens in this new Kojima production game, whichever one it is. I'm kind of excited. Let me know, guys, in the chat.
Hopefully, it takes less than 8 years to come out, though.
Hopefully, you know, I like to think it is, because in the last one he had to make the engine from scratch.
Yes.
So they've got the engine now. They can run.
Are they going to use that engine?
Hopefully. I mean, it's expensive to make an engine.
That's what I was going to say. Is that while I like the idea of starting a project, finishing it, pouring your heart and soul into it, you don't have to build an engine every time.
Yeah, don't do a new one every single time.
Like, sometimes just use Unreal.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know what? Unreal Engine 5, pretty good. Just go for it.
I'm actually excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, the demo was great.
The demo was incredible. I think they should just make that game.
That's what people petitioned for afterwards. They were like, you guys might have a game here.
You guys do have a game here.
You've made all the assets and everything. Can you just do it?
I'll tell you, it looked like that little cinematic thing had a story to it. They may not have had a full game's worth of story.
Yeah.
But somebody has looked at that and gone, okay, what is this person? What's their basic gist? Why are they here? Okay, what is here?
So make it £5. Finish off that episode you've got there, whatever you've done. Sorted.
Yeah. Just make it a standalone 3-hour, like, you know what? People were excited. Here's this mission.
Yeah.
Here you go. Anyway,
that's what's happening over there with Kojima Productions. I wish them all well over there. Obviously, Kojima's watching. He's a big fan. Big fan of the show.
One of our true gamers.
He is. He's on the True Gamer tier. He donates far more, and he said, "Could you not read my name? I don't want the flack, you know, the attention that comes my way and stuff like that. I get enough of it. I can't go to the coffee shop and stuff like that."
Exactly.
So we keep him off of that list, but he is a True Gamer right there.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
That was a joke right there. Our next topic. NBA 2K21.
I thought this would come up.
Yes, so this was the first game, if you remember, to be confirmed at the $70 price point, and that got the conversation going about should next-gen games be more expensive. We landed on the side that some next-gen games should be.
Yes, we
NBA is very, very bold of them to fucking come out and go, the reskin the game is worth $70.
It's not, by the way.
It's not. However, to each and their own. Let them do their own thing.
Yeah.
And it's now come out that NBA 2K, a month after release, have snuck in an update to add adverts between loading screens.
Didn't we?
Are you getting a bit of deja vu?
Yeah.
A little bit of deja vu.
A lot of bit of deja vu.
Yeah, this happened in 2K20 as well.
I thought it did.
Yeah, so last time they did this, they were like, guys, we're totally sorry. We didn't mean this to be this way. We didn't mean for it to be as intrusive. We're totally going to take that out. No problem. They took it out.
Stop buying these things.
That's the main takeaway. Because they were, after all the backlash, again, for the exact same thing, they put out this bullshit statement. Let me just put on my glasses for this. It says, as many are aware, in recent years, ads have been integrated into 2K TV segments. Yesterday, 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way that we didn't intend. You didn't intend. This is the same bullshit you gave before, and we hated it then. You just tried to reach. Anyway, as these ads are not meant to run as part of the pre-game introduction, this will be fixed in future episodes. Thanks for your continued feedback.
Stop buying this. They're just going to keep. This is what I want to know. What were the numbers for NBA 2K20 and 2K21? Because I bet they didn't go down. And this is why they keep doing it. This is why this is going to happen again next year. Because they're going to look at the sales from the first couple of weeks, see that they're on track or haven't gone down, haven't dipped, and they're going to do it again. I hope you don't notice.
12 million was for 2K20. 2K21. Okay, physical sales are down 37%, but that could be due to the rise in digital sales now. I think we're a little bit too early to find out the numbers. It has cleared 10 million. Basically, it's going to be the same when it comes to it.
It's going to be the same. And next year, it's going to do the same. And they're going to try this shit until they either figure out a way to get the ads in that isn't so intrusive that you complain, or until you just give up on the complaining. Frick these guys, man. And they're charging you $70 for literally reskin plus watch this ad, the game. You know?
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And do you want to know what's extra stupid about this? So this is during a loading screen, right?
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Next gen isn't going to have loading screens. So are they just going to have ad placements for the sake of having ads?
Yes. I bet they do. I bet you they do. I know what they'll do. What they're going to do... NBA, if I see this, I'm going to sue you. I'm not joking.
Mm-hmm. Stolen this idea, yeah.
They are going to have the ads in the announcement phase. So, before it's going to load in,
yeah,
an announcer's going to come
tonight on NBA 2K.
The players, it's the Chicago Bulls versus this guy Bouncy Boys. This game, sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, the most ambitious...
game ever.
And they're going to have the players file out with the advert going on, like it would do in the thing, and not on your TV, on the in-game TV, on the in-game jumbo screen, and they're just going to make you sit through it. And despite the fact that there are no loading screens, you're going to sit through 3 to 5 minutes of your players coming out, shaking hands with some fucking fans, just waving at the camera,
just so you can watch
doing a promo
ad
thing with like some, dentist stick or something for dogs' toys.
Do you know what
That's
it is?
how they'll do it.
I think it's a completely separate world that we live in. While we both are gamers, even though gamers, when it comes to these people who play for sports games and whatnot, they are completely separate to us. Like, they might jump in the odd Call of Duty game, but they want to play NBA, they want to play FIFA, and in their world, they are used to seeing those adverts, watching them on TV and stuff like that. So they probably think it's okay and it's not too egregious. But us who play amazing games like Spider-Man, like The Last of Us, like God of War, and are just there for the amazing story and nothing but, and nothing is intruding into that space, this is totally unbelievable and totally egregious to us.
There's definitely a level of commercialism around everything to do with sports. The people that know all about league tables and just love talking about football and stuff, those guys are used to constantly getting new different kit every single year, plus the away kit, right? Yeah. To being funneled all this different merch, plus sticking bets on for their games and stuff, right? There is a spending culture when it comes to supporting your football team. For the guys, or sports team, for the guys that are really involved in it, even down to, and this is where a lot of sneaker brands get their stuff, like Jordans, right? So why are they called Jordans? Not because Michael Jordan designed a shoe, he didn't design shit.
He designed crap.
It's because Michael Jordan wears this shoe. It's named after him. You should wear this shoe because you like Michael Jordan, because you like the sport. You like
Michael Jordan, don't you?
Right.
Don't you?
And it's so deeply ingrained that I think this is a problem with the gamers, because I do believe if they just said, you know what, this has been too much. If there are enough Reddit posts that hit 1 million likes or whatever, where I'm not buying the next NBA game, all they do is reskin. I will deal with the fact that so and so didn't move because of the draft or whatever, and just keep playing with my friends. We all have this game. I'm sick of buying the new game. They don't change enough. The ads are intrusive. I'm not doing it. Well, then we would have that. But that will never happen because everybody's so used to it, to being funneled. Look, you need to buy the new... You're not a real fan because the yellow strip was 1 millimeter thick last year. Yep. Now it's 1.2. And if you don't have it, you're not a real fan. And everybody who is a real fan will know that you're not a real fan.
You're not supporting them this year? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
This is our biggest year ever. It's always our biggest year ever. Always. This year we're in with a shot. You're never in with a shot. No, but this year's different.
I wonder if there's anything that they see that to us the same way that we see about them. Like, we see it as like, oh my, I can't believe you're buying the same thing that's barely changed year on year. Is there anything like that, do you think, that they see about us?
I mean, mate, I think is that I don't think we can be faulted because we used to play Call of Duty religiously, right?
True. And we are those people.
We would have never continued to do it if the game had continued to go downhill, which it did, so we stopped playing.
Yeah.
That was enough for us to stop playing a reskin game. Mainly we played it ideally to get new games, new maps, new a game that played better, right? New guns, new maps, that kind of thing, right? New classes. But if they'd added ads, we never would have had that.
No.
We never would have accepted that.
Yeah.
So I feel like
we're a different breed.
I feel like we had played a reskin style game. We played Call of Duty, Battlefront, all that stuff. Battlefield, I'm sorry, and had any of these things come in, we wouldn't have accepted it.
We would have seen the rain. We'd be
Right.
like, nope, I'm out. See you later.
So I don't. What I want to know is, do they see the difference? And I know we have a few guys that do play FIFA and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you justify getting the next one, other than all my friends are getting it, right? And Messi moved team or whoever the frick's playing, right? Like,
Oh no, Juventus isn't in FIFA now, it's in Pro Soccer. Oh my god. I hear that's a thing, I don't know.
who gives a frick? You know, like, really, is it worth it? Because the other thing is, they've got straight gambling. The fact they have those card packs in there, and people are spending real money on that, and then freaking out. Like,
I don't get those videos.
And the streams go nuts.
I've seen the
stream
videos.
chat, they go
Strange.
nuts. Oh my god, you pulled like a fine shiny Mewtwo. Except it's not as cool as Pokemon.
Exactly.
So
I don't get it. Anyway, NBA 2K is still pulling their same tricks. It's complete and utter shit. Do not believe their bullshit statement that they've put here. It's them talking crap. They did the same thing last time, and they're saying this was not how we intended to. Then why was the same mistake in the last one?
Literally, the exact same mistake.
Thing. Shut up, you guys are lying. I don't care. Don't buy NBA games. The next topic.
Okay.
PlayStation's, it's a short one. PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility. In recent months, there's been like, it's the top 100 games. Actually, it's 99% of the games. Actually, it's this group of 400 games.
I don't care.
We don't know what the hell is going on. I'm not going to play many old games. Maybe the odd God of War. Maybe there's something like that.
But there'll be an update coming soon.
Exactly. But it still has to run the base game. I don't know what the deal is. Some people really like their backwards compatibility, and it's one of the things that Xbox players are saying.
Yeah.
Look, Xbox does back. I don't care.
Consumer. We can play any one of these 3 games.
That's the thing. I love when they go, when Phil Spencer goes, we're launching with the biggest catalogue of games ever. They're all the old games. They're not. There's no new games. Anyway, apparently, all of the PlayStation 4 library will be playable on PlayStation 5, except for these 10 games they've managed to figure out of all like 5,000 games there are. And even those, some of the developers are like, I'm not sure what the deal is, but we're fixing it so we can get it done. So when the PlayStation 5 launches, just all of the backward compatible games.
What's the list? Do you have it?
I can find the list for you right now.
Because this is the thing as well. I don't know what the difference is, but mostly the Sony first party guys seem to actually care.
Yep.
Right? Like, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I did see this list. And it's games that...
Here we go. So it's DWVR, Afro Samurai Revenge of the Kuma Volume 1, TT Isles of Man Ride of the Edge 2, Just Deal With It, Shadow Complex Remastered, Robinson the Journey, We Sing... that's not a Wii game, by the way. That's Wii as in Wii W. Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Shouden, and Joe's Diner. That's the list. And even those developers have all turned around and said, actually, we've looked into it and we see what the problem is. We're going to sort it out.
First of all, other than having seen this list maybe a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, never heard of any of those games. I actually didn't even know they made Afro Samurai games.
I've heard of Hitman Go. I've never played it.
It's like Pokemon Go, except you do random
basically
shootings.
That's what it is, yeah. And you pull out a piano wire and you're like,
right.
Gotcha!
It's such a non-issue, man.
It is such a non-issue. I'm happy for the people who want to play old games.
Yeah.
I'm very much, old games are old now. I've got many new games to look forward to. I will play those games. I'm done. Don't get me, there's still nostalgia. I've bought all the the cool sleeves for the PlayStation.
Yeah, you did.
Great games and whatnot. One day I might open them to play them and whatnot, or I might play them digitally, whatever it might be. But I'm looking to the future. I'm looking to Cyberpunk, looking to Miles Morales. I even got the Ultimate Edition so I can play Spiderman in the new thing.
I think Cyberpunk's going to be like, you know how Skyrim has now been played more by modders than it was ever played in its base form?
Yeah.
I don't think Cyberpunk's ever going to go away. I just get that feeling of it.
Especially when the online comes out afterwards. It's going to find a new life again after that.
But,
and then the DLCs and shit. God damn it.
These games, like backwards compatibility, I think a lot of people talk about it, not very many people use it. That's the honest truth, right?
Yeah.
And again, and we've said this, I think the people that like to play the older games, most of those people, a lot of those people like the older stuff. So if I want to play a PlayStation 1 game, I don't want to play it on my PS5. I want to pull out my PlayStation 1, an old CRTV.
They've got all that equipment, yeah.
Right, I don't want to play Space Invaders on my 4K Ultra HD ULED.
It's like when I played Pinball and Minesweeper on this PC. It didn't give me the feeling of when I played it back on
Windows 98.
Exactly. It didn't give me that feeling, Solitaire and stuff like that.
Exactly.
There were too many frames. I didn't like it.
Exactly.
Like it. Anyway, that's just the information there. I thought you guys would know about that. This is the True Game Podcast. I wanted to cover it. The next thing, Game Informer. The magazine unveiled their new thing that they do every month, what their cover's going to be.
Okay.
And it's Spiderman Miles Morales.
Cool.
Released a whole bunch of footage, a bunch of beautiful, crisp 60 FPS footage, some crisp ray-traced footage as well.
Cool.
Very, very nice stuff. There's also a cat in the game as well. That gets better. I'm not a cat guy.
Can you pet it?
You can. And the cat is also joins you in the finisher moves. So he's in your backpack.
Oh yeah.
You punch a guy.
I saw that.
And he comes out and he's got a little Spider-Man mask and he claws at one of the guys.
That's it.
It's adorable as fuck. I'm not a cat guy, but
I'm also not. Yeah, I'm more of a dog guy, but sick.
It's cool. And it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. Fantastic.
On that note of animals and games,
Go on.
You can, in Ghost of Tsushima Legends, summon a spirit dog, spirit dogs, if you buy the gift, and a spirit bear, and all of them are pettable.
A pettable spirit dog. Now,
Update of the
that's
year.
cool. That's game of the year right there.
Which is the main reason I'm not giving it to Doom. Why couldn't I pet that green dog? Why was that not a move I could summon? The fucking Marauder got one.
Nyrowc.
Why didn't I?
Why is that?
Innit? Defend yourself, Nyrowc.
Jesus Christ.
Shit.
Bastard right here. We'll get to his review later, but honestly, it's tainted now. It's tainted. It's shown all this stuff. They detailed a few things. So it's Miles Morales has also gone gold. Yeah. There's a performance mode where you can play at 4K 60 FPS,
cool.
Which is great. We're starting to see 4K 60 FPS on next gen, which is fantastic.
Is that native?
Native 4K, yep.
Amazing, yeah.
There is a fidelity mode if you want to have 4K 30 FPS, but then you'll have ray tracing and other effects being applied on there.
Okay.
I think it'll be interesting to see the both. I think it will look gorgeous in the base model anyway, in the 4K native mode, 60 FPS. But I think it's going to look just a hair better with the ray tracing.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because, like, both The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima are 30 FPS.
Yes.
And those don't feel sluggish, or clunky at all. Mm-hmm. I actually, if I didn't know that was a fact, I would have guessed they were somehow running at 60.
Yeah.
They're just so smooth. So I suspect that 4K 30 FPS with ray tracing is the way you want to play this.
I think so too. I think as well because it's going to be a next-gen title, it's going to look it as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be great. There was one question that was written in by Dave Bindis.
Okay.
And he was asking about Spider-Man Miles Morales and what we think about it. Because there's not going to be much different in terms of gameplay. It's going to have the same Spider-Man gameplay adapted to a Spider-Man Miles Morales story.
Yeah.
With some ray tracing effects on top.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be little things that they add to it. Obviously, different animations to suit a Miles Morales style and whatnot. There's going to be a bit more of a kiddie aspect to it.
Hopefully.
I think I've seen a couple of footage and it looks quite nice and very flimsy and well, not flimsy, but what's the word? Whimsical. That's the word I was going to say. It looks very nice. That makes a lot more sense. I was going to say flimsy doesn't make sense. I don't think it's going to detract away from it. It is a standalone story, is a standalone side mission. It's not supposed to be a brand new game. I think you might be asking for a bit much. But also, you need to look at it in the context of it's a launch title game.
Yeah.
Launch title games never really push the boundaries of anything.
Man.
Exactly. They do one gimmick maybe. Maybe sometimes they do 0 gimmicks, but they have a higher resolution, higher frame rate, something like that. Yeah. And that's it. We're getting 4K 60 FPS or 4K 30 FPS with ray tracing here. We're getting a brand new story. Hopefully the story's going to be good. And that's it. That's what we're looking for.
Let's say this. The Last of Us came out at the end of the PS3's life. Mm-hmm. The Last of Us 2, God of War 3 or 4, Ghost of Tsushima. What else? There's one other thing that came out in that time. But those games all came out at the end of the PS4's life cycle. Mm-hmm. The cream of the crop tend to be near the end of the thing. The games that start you into, although I think maybe this year that might change with Ratchet and Clank and Crash and stuff like that.
I was going to say, they work better with hardware now and they're probably at more of a running start than they were in the previous one.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also they're more creative and and optimization, especially first party guys, not to continually harp on about Sony, but the first party guys just know their job so well inside and out that they can just disproportionately perform well.
Yeah.
Right? But generally speaking, the games come out like we think Cyberpunk is going to be potentially the best game ever made. And that's coming out at the literal end. I would say it's the end of the PS4.
Yes.
Not the beginning of the PS5, if that makes sense, because it's coming out as a PS4 game.
Yeah, they might have
current generation game, and then in a year or two we'll get the up-res.
Yeah. I think they said 2021, so not too far out, but still, it's coming out at the end of the PS4. That's when it's coming out right there. Games will get better. They will move on. There will be other things that developers then adopt and do specifically with this new hardware and stuff like that.
I'm looking forward to see what VR does.
Yes.
Especially with the new hardware, with computing being where it will be, with the consoles being able to compete and perform the way they can.
Yeah.
This VR is going to be really interesting in the next couple of years as well.
I think it will be too. By the way, was it Ben Fryer, or it might have been Top Row Ben, sent me a picture of his setup, and he's got like the PlayStation, he's got the Xbox, and he's got the PSVR there, and I'm like, this guy's living the dream. He's got everything right there.
Yeah, buddy.
Great guy right there. That's our thoughts on that, Dave. Don't worry about it. I think you'll still enjoy it. It'll be a great story regardless.
What's the price on it?
I think it's $51.99 in our money over here. It would have been closer to $40 had the next gen price boost not have happened. So it is a bit expensive.
I hate to be the guy that says this because I want these guys to do well, especially first party stuff. Anyone first party, I want 12 minutes to do really well. Yes. Really well, by the way. I'm really excited for that game. Because of Cyberpunk, and I know there are some people that just don't really care about Cyberpunk. Not many, but some people don't. I would wait on Miles Morales. And I know it's slightly different for us because we make content and we do streams and stuff like that. But for you guys, I would wait until Black Friday sales, until January sales. That's me, personally. I think you're generally speaking, you're going to be better off doing that. Especially for Miles Morales, which is like not quite a standalone game. I think your money's better spent on things like, I'm not saying you should buy Cyberpunk and Ratchet and Clank, but I think it's probably better spent there at the early stage of this next gen than getting a PS4 game that's being updated with DLC for do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Save some money there. Get a game that will last you. I think Cyberpunk's going to last us this entire generation. I'm not even joking. And
you'll be able to come here and check out all the Cyberpunk content. Because that will be you. So both sides, you'll be filled with Cyberpunk. You'll be filled with us and Cyberpunk.
We're going to fill you.
We're going to fill you up to the brim.
My She-V.
Yes.
With a PP.
It's going to be fill you up.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
All right, my bros. There was one other little thing which I'm just going to gloss on because it's not confirmed and it's kind of funny.
I was totally expecting you to unzip. I'm joking.
Sorry. Watchdogs Legions is apparently going to be filled with microtransactions,
Sick.
Which is just great. A picture has been leaked online of a store similar to like Fortnite with buying skins and stuff like that. It just looks terrible and I'm not excited for this game. Ethan really is excited for this game. He's got to play it, so maybe he's better off judging it. But I'm just not. There's just no excitement inside me for this game.
I hope it's good. Here's the way... I'm not buying it until years later, right? At least a year.
I'm not even going to buy it until someone says it's amazing, and then even then it will be years later.
That's what I'm saying. So what I think the best case scenario for me is that in 2021, when there's a lull for like 3 months, and I find it at CEX for some insanely discounted price, and it turns out it was a diamond in the rough and I was completely wrong about it, that is the only way I play it and feel good about it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I love Ethan to bits. If he comes out and says it's great, I'm still not taking it. I will believe him, but I'm not buying it.
I'll be like, Ethan, you're a great man. We respect you. You have a huge dong. We are not going to buy that game.
Exactly. So I hope that he's excited for it because he got to play it and he sees that it actually is good once you like peel away a couple of layers.
Yeah.
And I hope that's true. And I hope he has something, because he's a monster when it comes to making content. I hope he has something that has its own little passionate niche that hasn't been burned somehow. And they just love it and he can make content and he loves it.
Yeah.
And then in a couple of years we play it and go, man, we should have got
We
this.
should have been on that. We should have been on that.
But I don't see it.
I don't see it either. They did do a good but kind of backfired bit of PR promotional material.
Okay.
So they changed all of the stores, like PlayStation, Xbox stores artwork for all Ubisoft games into... So like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, they changed it to give it a Watchdogs Legion theme to it. So they gave it like a weird effect, like a glitch effect on it, and they put like the pig face on there, or like the king hat or whatever it is, to make it look like a DedSec had hacked the system.
I mean,
right?
it's great imagery, but yeah.
It's great imagery. The only thing is, the first that I saw of it was the Ezio collection being hacked and put a pig face on it. And all I saw was the Assassin's Creed guys, don't you fucking touch our Assassin's Creed. Don't you? That's holy ground. Ground right there. You can't touch the Ezio collection. Yeah. Everyone just unleashed hell on them.
These
and
guys
they were like,
love Enzo.
Guys, it was a joke. It was just a joke. We're just fucking around because the Watchdogs came out.
It was hackers, man. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that really backfired, didn't it? I thought it was funny, but yeah, it didn't work out. Anyway, let's kick over to some of our bros who have written in on our Discord server and our Patreon, which you can do. Go ahead and over to patreon.com/conversations or clicking the link in the description to our Discord server. This is Real Cinema.
Which, hold on, as you mentioned that, we're terrible at this YouTube shilling stuff.
We are.
But the Patreon guys, recently, we decided that we would just hit record when we sit down.
Yes.
Because we do have, well, conversations.
Exactly.
And I think, how long was the video they got last week?
It's like 10 minutes, something
it was
like that.
10 to 15 minutes, somewhere in there, of just all the just like us being us.
We just talk crap.
But they get extra. And all of them, right? So
yeah.
The guys at $1, they got the
$2
same thing.
actually. $2. That's how it goes.
$2. So, which is like £1.30 or something,
yeah.
right? Almost nothing for all this extra content. Like, I was going to say not to shill. I guess I'm trying to shill it, but there's a good reason to be on there.
Yeah.
You know? And plus you get the exclusive Discord room, which is pretty lit actually. Yeah. It goes through these phases of like extreme activity, where it's like my favorite room, and then it slows down because everybody goes to school or has work or something, and then like 2 days later it really flares up. I'm like, yeah, the Patreon room's back.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you like to do the Patreon thing, like, feel free. Head over there for as little, I guess, $2 a month.
It helps us out, and I mean, especially this channel isn't monetized and whatnot. It's the only way that we can make money from this YouTube stuff. Continue making content for you guys, and it helps keep us fed and keeps Isla fed.
It's true.
So
because he won't spend any money on it.
I won't.
It's only Patreon feeding her.
I'll spend money on other things, but I won't spend.
How's he going to afford these chairs and these computers and stuff if he has to feed his daughter? This is horrible.
Fucking leech.
What a drain, right? But. We're not just saying that we only love the people on Patreon because that's true, but for the guys that like can't afford it or just aren't Patreon guys, you do still support us. We absolutely love you. And one of the things I love about YouTube is that, especially once this channel's monetized, whitelisting us on our block, you are literally paying us.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But also things like liking the video and leaving a comment, and not just like a good vid, but that bit where you said this, like actually leaving a comment, which helps YouTube realize that people are engaging. That is you actively supporting the channel for free, and it's incredible. And I think it's amazing that we live in a time where you can support someone, because I'm not a Patreon guy, and this is not that I have any problem giving people money. It's that I don't know. I'm just not a Patreon guy, but I am the guy that likes and comments and stuff, and that is as useful and as supportive. And I don't know. I love seeing comments where like, it was amazing, and this was great, and thanks for the stream. I was feeling down, but now I feel really, you helped me get through a bit. Like, we've got tons of comments like that.
Especially when we can get a nice conversation going. Like the Cyberpunk videos that I've been making, people saying, "Oh, my favorite thing is going to be this," and I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool." The last one that I made, it has in the original Cyberpunk reveal with the lady with the mantis blades that was getting shot. People were like, "Is she actually in the game?" And I was sat down and I explained. I was like, "No, she's not in the game, but she's going through cyberpsychosis, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Whoa, that's really cool." And we had a nice conversation. It's really fun stuff like that.
It is cool,
and it helps us on the back end. It helps
does.
the whole channel. We get to YouTube likes us more for that.
Yeah.
And that's
you can help our back end.
You can help our back end. And also, if you're listening on podcast services, 150 of you guys, rate us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify, wherever you guys are. That really helps us.
Last thing.
Go ahead.
To finish out the show.
Finish it all off.
Which isn't really a shield. The Discord. We don't make anything for that.
Yeah.
It doesn't help us out on YouTube because ultimately we're a YouTube channel. If you are new or just you've been listening for a while, you've heard about the Discord, honestly, it is just a cool place to hang out.
Yeah.
You have access to all the rooms but the Patreon room if you're not a Patreon. There's so much fun. It's such a chill place to be.
Movies, TV shows, show and tell, gym workout rooms, book club. Was book club still there? Is that
for some reason, you and the freaking mods. I'm going to ban
When
you.
you say me, I didn't.
I think you actually were the deciding vote in that. The mods were like, no one really uses this. And it was like, me and Chris are in there all the time.
If I am, I'm sorry. Because I had no stake in it. I was like, I don't care.
But, and this is one of the reasons we push the Discord so much is because it's just a cool place to hang out.
Yeah.
We really genuinely like the YouTube thing. Let's say you like watch ads and stuff. Like we kind of make something from that. We are trying to grow. The Discord is just a cool place to spend time.
Yeah.
And I 100% have to recommend it. It just if you enjoy this content or any of it, like you're missing out if you're not on there. Yeah, and I don't say that because it benefits me. I'm saying it because you're missing out and you shouldn't be. There's a great really place to hang out. Yeah.
It's really fun.
Let's do some real content now.
Let's do some real content from our boy Real Cinema.
Yeah, boy.
That worked out nicely there. He goes, hey gamers, I was wondering, how long do you think it will be before games look real to life? I think that it might be around the PlayStation 9 or 10. Also, this podcast is being nominated for an Oscar because it's real cinema. That's right. This podcast is... You guys should go and vote on the Oscars. It'll be us on the stage.
We are there.
We'll come up right there. We're like, hey, shake hands with
After Ricky Gervais tears into podcasters or something.
This whole thing is bullshit. Podcasters. Who the fuck are they?
Who cares?
By the way, Conversations.
The best podcast.
I don't know if we'll get to PlayStation 9 or 10, but I don't think we're that far away. I mean, I like the look of the older 1886. I don't think it was anywhere close to real life.
I don't think it was a good game, but it looked great.
That's where we differ. I like the game a lot, but it looked great, and we've got all this new power, like 10 times the power now. I think it's gonna look great this gen. Maybe next gen we can get close to real life.
I think it's possible graphically.
Yeah.
In the next 2 or 3 generations. But something about the human eye is very good at telling when something isn't right. You get anything wrong, or the game just lags in the right spot and your brain is instantly going to know.
It's like, something's off about that.
Yeah. You won't know what it is, but you'll be able to tell. And I think, I don't know, I think you might be able to fool your eyes for a little bit, but not your brain. I know it sounds strange, but like, I also don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
Like, we've said we believe that games are the best form of entertainment. They're better than movies, as an example, because it's a movie you're playing, right?
We literally said that to the Real Cinema, the
know.
Oh, we're going to catch some flack.
But games are real cinema.
Yeah.
Right? And the difference between a movie is you watch people do the thing. In the game, you're doing the thing with those other characters, whatever the game is. And I don't know if you want it to look super realistic. You know what I mean? Like, realistic and gritty and stuff is great, but I don't know if I want to watch Joel in The Last of Us 2
actually be beaten with a fucking... Spoiler.
It's like a year old now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that, because something about being able to... Something about it, ultimately knowing it isn't real, stops it from being like a real stress thing.
Yeah.
Right? Also, how bad are the demons in Doom going to look if they're true to life demons?
Jesus.
They're going to look terrifying. But, you know, I think maybe we're close. We could be further away than you think, though. Like VR, we're closing in on where I said it would start to get picked up more commercially. Yeah. And we're nowhere near that.
Yeah, we're not,
Right? People are really slow to adopt VR. Even though, and despite it graphically not being anywhere close to real, it is very good. Yeah. Even the PSVR, which is, you know, quite, relatively speaking, quite low down on the power, is still really great. And I think this stuff takes a long time to get adopted I think it's in 2016. So next year, I would say that for my prediction to be true, VR stuff should have doubled or tripled from where it was, and it hasn't. It isn't there.
No.
Nor is the technology leapt that far. So we could be like 30 or 40 years away from this.
True.
You know, not because it's like not possible, but because they can't make it work without you noticing.
Yeah, the human eye would just be too perceptive to that kind of like those kind of little errors. I think we'll probably get more likely to the point where we can control people for purposes of games before we get to
like in the movie,
like game of the movie, where it's going to be an implant and we're going to control another brain, and that's what it's going to be. It might not be live ammunition; that might be a little bit barbaric, but I think it'll be. I think it will get to that point before we get to the point of doing that, also, and then it will be. Oh, that does control like a real person. Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking, in Call of Duty, if you sprint for a bit and then you run out of puff, right?
Oh, yeah, fuck. How's that?
A real human being
goes like, but his legs are just going like that. Could be.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay,
How long has this been going? When did we start?
Fucking, you know what? We did a bit at the beginning.
It's been going for a while.
I'd say 2 hours we've been going for something.
Right, cool.
Okay, which is still long, to be honest.
It's a decent-sized podcast.
Yeah, decent-sized podcast. Okay, our next question is from JuiceSpook, and he says, do you have any concerns about Cyberpunk 2077? We obviously speak a lot about our praise and how we're so excited for it. Do you have any concerns for Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah, Rob and I talk about this quite a lot.
Okay.
Especially
I know he's got one thing, and I told him this is odd because we asked the question here. I told him not.
You can tell me.
I told him no. I didn't. I asked him. I said, "Don't say it out loud, otherwise it will make it happen."
Okay.
And it's kind of weird because now we've got the question. Is it something that you're worried if you say it out loud, it might happen?
No, because they've already taken it out.
Okay, cool.
So like, it's the amount of stuff they've taken out of the game.
Okay.
Like wall running, multiple apartments.
Mm-hmm.
There's I can't remember what the other one was, but I just worry that also like only being first person.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm 100% of the opinion that this should be a third person game. If it was to be one or the other, third person only.
Yeah.
Right, and ideally you have both options. Sort of like Skyrim or Fallout or whatever. And I do worry about how much has been taken out of the game and whether or not that is going to deeply affect its previous design. Like, wall running was in it. So, is there a ton of the game that is supposed to be accessible because you can wall run and ultimately, you know, it isn't there? It's like if you're playing chess and it then moves down to checkers because it's that movement of like the knights and the stuff, it just
the extra dimension
if it didn't mess with stuff. So I am a little bit concerned about that. I think that's it though.
I think I can't think of anything that would really concern me.
Siri isn't in it. That would be a concern. Yeah.
The only one concern for me is that it gets a little bit too nerdy for the masses. I feel like
as a content creator.
Yeah.
What about the game itself?
No, though? I mean the game isn't like the story behind it. Like, for example, Braindance was the first time that I felt weird about that. I was like, Braindance is quite nerdy, but if you really sit down and think about it, it's actually a really cool concept.
Yeah.
But everyone in our stream when we did the Night City Wire event was like, "Oh, it was so boring to watch." And it was
I forgot about that.
They explained it kind of bad, and it was maybe poorly paced and whatnot. But it's actually really fun.
I'm looking forward to Braindance.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to running a Netrunner build specifically for the extra stuff you can do in Braindance.
Exactly. And I'm worried that they're gonna go too nerdy for certain aspects, not everything, but certain aspects, and that's gonna get lost on people. And then it's just not gonna be. People are gonna be like, yeah, it's a cool story and like there's cool shooties and stuff like that, but I don't know, maybe not everyone gets this bit.
I kind of feel,
that's the only thing I'm worried about.
I feel like The Witcher, despite like The Witcher 3 was our first foray into it.
Yeah.
And if you can make it past like say White Orchard, where you get into the story and you have no idea who Nilfgaard and Temeria are and stuff like that, I think it's much more like user friendly or accessible because especially at the time Game of Thrones was out.
Yeah.
And ultimately this dude hits things with swords and casts a bit of magic and that's it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like really when you boil it down, he hits something with a sword and there's not much else to it and like he tracks stuff. But we've used that mechanic of like changing the vision and now you see the thing for a decade or more. And I do think there may be something like that. Things like Braindance people aren't going to get. But I do think when you see it in game and it gets explained to you what you're about to do,
you'll click.
The penny will drop and people will get it. They may not continue doing it. I think Braindance is going to be one of those things that a lot of people overlook. Like a lot of people played The Witcher and never played Gwent, not realizing that actually they were playing Gwent and there's this whole Witcher sub-game.
Yeah, but it was like, you get into it, it's like, oh, I'm The Witcher, wait, what's this Gwent thing? And then suddenly it's Gwent the game, and then, wait, there was... Witcher was around?
There's a guy named Geralt that carries the pack that you are.
Straight, that's what he is. He's a holder for the cards.
Exactly. It's like if the Pokemon were the main characters and Ash just brings them places.
Yeah.
So I guess I think you might be right. I think a lot of people aren't going to get it, and I think they're going to miss out on a big part of the game. But I don't know if that... But like a concern is like, oh, Braindance is going to suck. They're going to force you to do like 10 brain dances every 2 missions, and it's going to suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Like it's not a core mechanic that you have to do. That's a drag to do.
I'll tell you as well, it seemed to me like the amount of weapons and stuff, because they were showing us different weapons. I know it's a dumb complaint because I just said The Witcher, where you just use a sword. And like a different colour sword.
Yeah, it's a blue sword. It's a green sword.
This one's made of silver. It's still a sword, bruv. They showed us weapons and weapon customization.
Yeah.
And the part of that says to me that I should have a lot of options if they're giving me the option of options.
Yeah.
And it looks like you get maybe 4. And to me, that kind of feels like it might be repetitive.
Right.
You know, there may not be enough in here for me to really enjoy and play with.
Like when it comes to any gun that you do pick, you're still going to pick the same red dot sight, you're still going to pick the same extended mag, still the same stock, and whatever other cyberware thing is going to connect to it. Yeah, maybe.
But I guess other than that, like ultimately, I'm much more interested in... Answer the question, not really. I think I'm a little bit worried that they took so much out of the game that might impact the way the game presents.
Yeah, it was originally designed with those things in mind, and without them it feels kind of off.
Maybe.
Or empty.
I am also a little bit concerned that having just come off the back of Ghost of Tsushima, where Tsushima feels alive, that Night City may not, and the thing that will kill it will be all these skyscrapers that you just can't go inside.
Yeah,
that's what makes, like, you know, Vice City I really think of fondly. You cannot go into almost any of those buildings.
Yeah, you can't.
Right? You are very aware that Vice City is dead.
Yes.
And Night City, I really want not to be able to just walk into any building, you know, but like a lot of those buildings should be alive. There should be NPCs in there going to work, doing whatever they do, and you can walk in and do like an office shooting or steal a thing, or find some cyberware lab and go in and steal something or get involved, even if you don't have the quest, right? That's what I think Night City really needs to give it that feel. You know,
we will have to see. That could happen. That could happen. It could be that it's completely empty and you just can't go into those rooms.
Yeah,
it could be the opposite. You never know.
I think I'm leaning towards it being the opposite, but it is a concern. If it goes that way, then
it'll be disappointing.
Yeah, from what we saw from the Night City wire, though, it doesn't. And I don't think that's the case. I think this city looks alive, and they understand that like districts are a thing, and they all look and feel different. And
there is another thing as well. There are a lot of people, and maybe because I'm really tuned into the Cyberpunk community and what people are saying right now, there's a group of people that really want Cyberpunk to fail. And I don't understand why. I understand Jason Schreier because he's an idiot and he wants to make his own thing and whatnot. Yeah. But other people, there are people that are like, they get a screen. There's one screenshot like out of the Night City Wire event where it shows the road. It shows the road plenty of times, but it shows it in this one shot where there's maybe 2 cars on the road, and they're like, "Night City's completely empty. Look," and it's like, yeah, but then the shot right after it shows 40 cars. And I'm like, why did you pick that? What is up with you?
Rob sent me a text of a picture. This isn't to pick on Rob, it's just a similar thing. Where you're going under like a motorway and it's got signs and it just says placeholder text or place text here. Because they haven't figured out what text. They haven't put it in yet. And he's like, we're getting close, what are they going to do? And I was like, I wouldn't worry about it. That's something they're going to add at the end and just decide, like, maybe it's something interactive where once the game is like switched on, if there is a crash that the game simulates, then it will say crash ahead.
Right.
Because I think that would be a cool way to add life to the city, which is one lane needs to get shut down on this motorway randomly, random event.
It's realistic.
Because there's been a shootout and these cars crashed or something, right? And as you're driving on this motorway that you normally use to get from West Night City to East Night City, that this whole lane is down, and as you drive past, there's like a bus that's on fire with all these bullet holes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that would be a very cool way to add life to the city, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you get to witness those events. But wanting a game to fail, like, as much as I've ragged on AC Valhalla, I would love for that game to be amazing.
I would too.
I'm still not going to play it. It's just not my thing, and I don't really care. And also, I can't be seen to play it.
Yeah, we've got reputations to uphold.
Exactly.
True gamer hosts right here.
But if it's great, we benefit because another great game has been made, and ultimately our community who do deeply love Assassin's Creed get a good Assassin's Creed game, which I want for them.
Yeah.
Like, there's no benefit to us for Valhalla or Watchdogs Legions or any of these games to suck. The more good games that come out, the more good games we get, because developers have experience, because the bar is raised, because the experience is there, the money is there, the shareholders know that they can invest in these games because they make a return.
Yes.
It's always good to have good games. Always, always, always. No exceptions. Good games are good.
Good games are good.
Especially now with the price going up. The games need to reflect the quality. They need to.
Yes, they need to, especially with the price going up. That's right. Thanks for writing in there, Juice. Well, that sparked a decent conversation.
That was good.
It was quite nice right there. We've got another question from our boy. This one's a repeat question from last week that he couldn't get in. Trauma Team Luke, he's very into Cyberpunk as well right now. He goes, I know this is a repeat question, but you never got to it because it wasn't the True Game Podcast. That's the only reason. No, not because we hate you, but we do hate you.
We do hate you.
What do you think of the Night City map and my theory of Maelstrom Gang having German roots, which apparently is a thing that could be possible, which is I'm really down for that. It seems really cool right there.
Do you know about the history of the Cyberpunk world? So Europe and the UK and stuff are their own separate territory and
oh shit, no, I don't know about that bit. Don't know about that bit.
I'm not going to go too far into it because
probably quite a lot.
there's a fair bit, but it's like the UK is in sort of post-apocalyptic 28 days later type.
I think I read this. Yeah, sorry.
Same with Germany is pretty similar to that. It's very cyber. No, I wouldn't say cyber Nazi, but it's pretty bad.
Okay.
And so Night City bit isn't the worst place. It might be the worst place in America to live,
but
it's not the worst place to live.
There you go.
So that band in my tabletop game, Blitzkrieger. They're Germans.
German, there you go.
They're full board conversions.
Play Cyberpunk on a tabletop RPG with some friends. That's great.
I do. With Rob, who's the friend of the show.
Yeah. I should read, after this I'm going to read out, let me read it now actually.
Okay.
I asked Nyrowc to send in his review of of the Ancient Gods DLC when it came to, where did he put that? He put that somewhere.
How would I know that?
I put in the top row in the Patreon chat. That's where he put it right there.
Okay.
So I asked him. I was like, "Give me your spoiler-free, quick impressions. Nothing too lengthy, but just give me a thing." Yeah. He goes,
"Best game ever."
He goes, "Well, it's 10 times harder than the." Sorry, I'm choking on my own stuff here. Well, it's 10 times harder than the main game. It's thoroughly kicked my ass, and I love every bit of it.
I hate that he's one of these guys.
He's like, Ultra Nightmare mode times 10. The levels are all beautiful and very well designed. I can't say anything story-wise because of the spoilers, obviously. But I will say it's quite shocking. Definitely up to par, if not better than the main game. Also, the soundtrack is fantastic. Overall, 10 out of 10. That's what he says.
Yeah, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal have been so good.
Yeah.
They're different. They're not intended to go up against God of War, The Last of Us and Cyberpunk, right? They are level grinds of shooty death kill with demons in space, right? They're incredible. They're such a great way to spend a bit of time, and they're just linear. Even I can't get lost in those games.
Yeah.
I actually really want to play it. But then we got Legends, Cyberpunk's coming in a few days.
That kind of ties into our next question. So I will say thank you, by the way, Nyrowc, for writing that in there. We knew to turn to you, our Doom expert in the Combro Nations, right?
Yes, indeed.
You are our expert. Thank you for writing in. Of course, you're not being paid for anything that you do for us. It's all free.
Yeah.
As it goes for any one of you guys who write in, it's all free. But thank you for your contribution there.
The other thing, I love that we have this mix of games. You're a platinum whore.
Yeah.
Nyrowc is a difficulty whore. like, he just loves to play games that are going to challenge
So here
him.
is just a whore.
True. Well, in fairness, he's a JRPG whore.
That is true. That is true.
And we're just money grubbing whores.
That's what we are.
But like, we streamed the first couple of episodes of Doom Eternal.
We did.
Because it happened to arrive on the day of a stream.
Yeah, we was doing something that day.
Yeah. And we played with the difficulty. People were like, put it on Nightmare. And we did. And the only difference was it took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it was harder. It was just more of a grind. And for me, that isn't fun. But for Nyrowc, like, he doesn't see the point if he isn't really being challenged.
Wait a minute, it's not ultra nightmare? I don't get it. I don't get it.
And that's one of the things I really appreciate. Again, not to toot our own horn about the Discord and stuff, but having this community where what you find fulfilling in gaming is so broad across our community. It's really interesting to get these different perspectives, and I super appreciate it.
Yeah. The thing I was going to transition to when you said like the last game that you like not playing Doom again and because you're playing Legends and whatnot. Josh hashtag Veto Mod wrote in and he says, as a final goodbye to your PS4, what's the last game you will play before the PS5? Also, my hype levels are quite high for the PS5. Mm-hmm. Would be higher if I still have to wait until Christmas to be able to play the new games on the console. But Christmas can't come soon enough. He says right there.
It's Christmas as well.
We have to wait an extra week. I can't imagine waiting until Christmas. Josh, we're here for you in this terrible time.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, is there a game that you might play? I mean, we don't get a lot of time to play. Like,
we don't.
Especially because I'm streaming Uncharted right now.
And then you need to play Halo before this all comes out.
It's impossible. It's literally impossible, but I don't know how I'm going to do anything. If you could pick one, say you could have the time, what game would you like to play before the PS5 comes out?
I would... Well, one, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah?
And I'm not joking. I've really vibed with that game a lot.
When we started Legends, straight away he was like, God, I want to play this again. I want to do New Game Plus. I want to do this now.
We were streaming. I was like, do you know what? Frick the stream. I'm going back to New Game Plus.
See you later, guys.
But I feel like I probably won't do New Game. I won't go the whole hog. I'll probably just be playing a lot of Legends. So I think... I was going to say God of War, but I think it would maybe be like The Last of Us Remastered than The Last of Us 2. Like, play it as one thing. I don't have the time. I just straight up don't have the time. But that, I feel like, would be the best send-off. Because that's how we sent off the PS3 with The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I think sending the PS4 off with the wrap-up to that story, despite how much the propaganda campaign made people think it was terrible, and despite a couple of questionable stories, from a narrative perspective, we would have changed a couple of things, maybe made a couple of things like a choose your own ending, not super major, but something. I think that, and I gotta say, despite everything, I still feel like The Last of Us 2 is the best game of the generation. Not because, don't get me wrong, The Witcher 3, utterly incredible. Yeah. God of War, amazing. And again, I do still mean it when it's like squinting, they're all the same. But no game ever has taken that much of an emotional toll on me. Yeah. After I finished The Last of Us 2, came back round here, we did the spoiler cast that day, and I had to take a 3-day break. I didn't consume any media. I needed time to just process it because it was so... I don't know, man. It
emotionally demanding.
It affected me, and I've never had a game as much. And God of War has an incredible story.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love. I think the father and their child dynamic is the absolute best story.
Yeah.
And The Last of Us 2 is a revenge story, and that isn't as good. Straight up, that is not as good. But it drained me. It took that much out of me, made me feel so much and so intensely, where God of War did as well, but in a different kind of way, that I have to say, because of how it affected me, I've got to give it to The Last of Us 2. So I probably would want to play that again.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't think I could play Last of Us 2 again. I mean, I haven't even gone back for the Platinum, because it's just so emotionally draining.
I don't want to play it again.
That's the thing.
I do want to play it again, but I don't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean when you say that. I know exactly what you mean when you say it, because I want to play the game again, but I don't want to play the game again.
And it's brilliant. Like, the combat's amazing, the boss fights are great. But I was going to say it's hard work. It's not hard work.
It just takes everything.
It takes a toll on you, man. Even knowing what's coming up, because it's so perfectly made.
Yeah.
So apart from those couple of things that we would change,
I would have said Spider-Man PS4 because it's it's just a wholesome game, and it's going to be nicer, even though you do kill an old lady at the end. Spoiler alert. But we're going to get the remastered version, which I'm going to buy and which I'm going to play again, so I don't need to play that again. I think my one would be... Knack. He said it, guys. Knack, and I can't wait for Knack 3. Where is it, Mark Cerny? It's going to be my favourite game of the generation. Favourite game of all time that I've said before. God of War. I think I'd have to play that again.
I can't fault that. I was actually going to say... But I don't have enough imaginary time to imaginary play Last of Us 1 and 2, let alone and God of War 4. But like, I think the father and their child dynamic, especially in the way that The Last of Us and God of War have the story go, where the character has to save their kid and themselves without even realizing it.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
Yeah.
You know, like God of War is, I'll be honest, the only reason I picked The Last of Us 2 over God of War is because of how emotionally taxing it was. I am saying, and therefore I have to attribute something to it, right? Where the God of War was incredible, but it didn't take it out of me this way. Exactly. So I'm saying, I'm rationalizing it, that must mean that it's not better, but it like effective.
More impactful.
Right. But man, is God of War good.
Yes.
Man, is that a good game.
Great game, right?
Except it takes me 50 hours to complete. Because of course I'm going to fight all the Valkyries again before I get to the...
Before you're at the right power level, without the right armor.
Before I even have the Chaos Blades.
Okay, we've got 2 quick ones to wrap up here. We've got Cobra67, he writes and he goes, what game would you like to experience for the first time again? Mine would be Oblivion. I love getting lost in that world. Is that right? God of War. Just to see that all happen again.
Yeah. Well, God of War, because at no point... Oh, man. All of The Last of Us, I know we just banged on about... Oh, shit, maybe The Witcher. But the problem with The Last of Us is... Man, like, Sarah...
Yeah.
You know, you can't avoid it.
So I was going to say, I'm going to just so you know, mine is God of War, Last of Us, because I want that first feeling again. I just want to be, because that was such a shock, and I want that again just to be like, oh, Jesus!
Right.
Oh, my heart, I can't take this in the beginning.
You knew this game was different. You know, you're 15 minutes in, and it is different, and there's no change in this up, right?
I need to get that feeling again, boy. Woo!
Like God of War, yes, this is what I'm saying. It's one of those 3 games. Whatever the answer, it's always, I think for us both, it's probably always going to be either God of War, The Last of Us franchise, or The Witcher.
And prepare when Cyberpunk comes out, we're going to add that to the list.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think it's going to add, it won't push anything out. No. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
So, yeah, it just, and this is what we mean. It's always good to have good games. There is no world where that list being God of War, The Witcher, The Last of Us, AC Valhalla, and Watchdogs Legions. That's not a bad world. I don't think those games can even come close, but like that would be a great world to live in, where like people are fighting over which game should I play next, which game, if you could only play, which game would you play again for the first time, and they're just like,
I've got the game.
Yeah.
The game that you should play to have that fresh feeling again when you first get the realization is AC2, right when you find out that all the planets are the ones that are controlling the apples of Eden and stuff like that.
Is that before or after you find out you can actually hug that Leonardo da Vinci guy?
Yeah, it's just a little bit after that Da Vinci, something like that. Yeah. And you don't really need to hug him, to be honest. It's just one of those things that passes. But when you find out the planets are controlling everything, then it's great. There you go, the sun.
I think, in fairness, James made a really good argument for Chow Mein and Enzo being connected.
Exactly, he did. And he knows what he's talking about when it comes to air conditioning.
He does.
We are pissing so many people off. All right, the last one, the big question. Yeah. Literally says big question here.
Okay.
Jack writes and he says, big question, Minesweeper or 3D Pinball?
I want to say Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, keep it pure. What's this 3D nonsense about, mate? We just want 2D playing fields with some squares that you click and then an explosion every now and again.
I'll justify it. It's because with pinball, there is always the chance that it bounces up and comes straight back between the flappers.
You fucking hate that.
But ultimately, unless you get done on the very first click, which is like, okay, fine, just reload.
Yeah.
It is you.
Yeah, because it tells you there's bombs nearby. There's 2 of them. There's 4 of them. Avoid them, you know? Anyway, that is all of the questions from the True Gamer podcast, the True Gamers themselves over there on our Discord server and Patreon. Right. Thank you all for writing, and you guys are all legends right there. Yep. We love all of you guys to bits.
Yep.
I think we've had a decent conversation.
It's been good.
So, one thing I do want to mention. The next episode is the last episode before the PlayStation 5 launches for the first time in territories that we're not in.
Motherfrickers.
But it's going to come out, and this episode that I've got in mind won't work if we do it afterwards.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, our next episode is going to be our predictions episode for Metacritic scores on launch games.
Okay.
So then the next time we come back, we can directly compare them in the next episode.
Okay.
And I think it'll be quite cool. We put a little bet down, like, you know, what's going on with that. I might even buy you your Cyberpunk thing if you win. I'll buy you a copy of Cyberpunk if you win. That'll be a good one. Anyway, but what I want you guys to do is you guys to write in as well next time. I'll put the obviously discussion up like we do on Patreon and stuff like that.
Okay.
You guys write in. I'll pick like 4 or 5 games that we can choose from. Everyone guesses their Metacritic score. Closest wins. Bruce's Price is Right rules. If you want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah? Totally down.
Right, we'll do that, and then we'll put them on the table.
Everything's 90.
And then we see who wins on the next one, because it will be literally launch day. We'll get all the review copies, review numbers, and then next one we'll get it back. That'd be quite cool.
Totally down.
Yeah. The one after that though is gonna be on the day of the release of Cyberpunk and next gen console when we record.
Are we doing that?
I was gonna say either we work out we recorded the day before.
We'll have to.
Or you'll be coming down anyway to grab the PlayStation.
But then I don't want. Boys, I love you. I do. But I think we should maybe do some extra recording. Maybe I'll come over on the weekend or something, and we'll get some content for that week. Because, frankly, frick all you guys. It's PS5 and Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk Day.
It's Cyberpunk Day. What happens if Cyberpunk comes a day late?
Mate,
I'm gonna
flip. Why do you say these kind of things? Why do you? I'm done with this fucking console.
I said it out loud.
Forget that. That's the end of the show.
I'll buy it digitally. I'll buy it digitally and refund it. I'll do it.
Why say these things out loud? Damn it. Yeah, fuck it. So that's good. That's what's going to happen. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the next episode as well. Thank you for tuning in for this episode. If you're here in the live chat, if not, don't worry about it. Thanks for tuning in anyway. And I think that's everything we've got to talk about today.
Thanks for hanging with us, guys.
Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for hanging with me, bro.
Yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one, guys.